This page is the cover of Dreamcast Magazine Volume 13 from 2001. It boldly declares, "Sayonara Dreamcast Magazine. Hello Dorimaga." It highlights the end of the magazine's 2.5-year run in its current form and announces its rebranding to Dorimaga. The main feature is a 24-page special strategy guide for Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, proclaiming it as a major highlight. The cover also teases other exciting Dreamcast content, including The Virgin of Megiddo, and emphasizes that the Dreamcast is still going strong. Game previews mentioned include AR, Shenmue 2, Sonic Adventure 2, Phantasy Star Online Verge 2, and Crazy Taxi 2, Virtua Fighter 4, Capcom vs. SNK 2, and Gun Survivor 2. Biohazard Code, Veronica, are also advertised as new system titles. A section called GameSpot Japan promises the fastest game information. Finally, there's a note about reader rankings for all Dreamcast titles, and an inquiry about the continuation of after-sale service for the Dreamcast, despite the console's production being discontinued. A special Teleca card present and a message from Ichiro are also mentioned as part of the rebranding to Dorimaga. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game, Comic Party. It's highlighted as a gorgeous 4-big bonus item edition, which includes a special package illustration, a telephone card illustration, a pre-painted figure, and a full-color setting book. The game was scheduled for release on June 28th, with the limited edition priced at 7,800 yen and the standard edition at 6,800 yen. The advertisement suggests pre-ordering now to get the special limited edition. The game itself is described as an adult story and features anime-style characters, and seems to revolve around manga and comic creation, with one speech bubble hinting at a character failing and another suggesting making a midnight snack. This title was not released outside of Japan. This page is the contents page for this issue of Dreamcast Magazine. It announces a Sayonara Dreamcast Magazine feature as the lead article, alongside special reports on The Virgin on Megiddo and Air. There's a final part of the strategy guide for Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, and a regular feature, Dorimaga Nazanani, Exploration Team. Arcade News covers Virtua Fighter 4. This week's topics look back asking, is the DC really over? The page also lists Dreamcast news and new titles, including Shenmue 2, Comic Party, Yume no Tsubasa Fate of Heart, Sonic Adventure 2, Phantasy Star Online Verge 2, Death Crimson OX, Eldorado Gate Volume 5, Crazy Taxi 2, Pia Carrot EU Koso 2.5, Advanced Daisen Ryaku 2001, and Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 P-Row, which is also known as Tizen Net Gimmick. Finally, there's a section explaining the icons used throughout the magazine. This page showcases Dreamcast hot information and a software complete guide. The hot information section highlights upcoming titles such as the heavy metal action game, Heavy Metal Geomatrix, the bounty hunting adventure, Bounty Hunter Sarah, Emperor of Holy Mountain, and the stylish fighting game, Exodus Guilty Neos. Also featured are Close to Hill of Prayer, Happy Lesson, Konohana, True Report, the horror adventure Illbleed, Angel Present, and Power Jet Racing 2001. The Naomi Drive section focuses on arcade-style experiences for Dreamcast, including Gun Survivor 2, Biohazard Code, Veronica, also known as Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code, Veronica, the puzzle action of Monkey Ball, soccer action with Virtua Striker 3, the intense mecha battles of Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Xeon, and the shooter, Zero Gunner 2. The page also includes a game index, listing games alphabetically, with page numbers such as Advanced Daisen Ryaku 2001, Illbleed, Air, Exodus Guilty Neos, Eldorado Gate Volume 5, Angel Present, and many more to help readers quickly find information. Finally, a promotion at the bottom announces a Sayonara and Hello campaign, where readers can get a special Dreamcast Magazine original telecard holder. Sega announced plans to develop games for Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox as part of a financial reform strategy, aiming to become more than just a software company. GameCube development, led by Sonic Team and Amusement Vision, would begin September 14th, with titles revealed at E3. News also includes the release of Sega, a joint arcade game from Capcom and Namco, and various Virtua Series events. Dreamcast hardware inventory is around 1 million units, though sales are declining. However, software sales are strong, particularly in the US. Sega's 3-year plan targets 65 Dreamcast titles and 53 for other platforms, aiming for 30 million units sold and 120 billion yen revenue by fiscal year 2004. As part of financial restructuring, Sega is considering selling its headquarters and streamlining related companies, leading to a reduction of approximately 700 employees. Their network business will focus on ISAO and Phantasy Star Online. This page highlights several gaming news items. Sega, a Dreamcast game, is now available in retail after previously being online only, having sold over 20,000 copies. A Virtua Striker 3 presentation campaign offers prizes like a widescreen TV and Sky Perfect TV tuner, with entries accepted until June 24th. An arcade version of Biohazard, Resident Evil, based on Code Veronica and featuring cooperative play, launches April 19th. The VFR Beat Live Cup, a Virtua Fighter 3 TB tournament, has qualifying rounds in early May, with finals on July 29th. The week's top news from GameSpot includes the Dreamcast Game Jam, Xbox and Dead or Alive 3 images, the general sales launch of Sega, a Gran Turismo 3 unveiling event, and a new Bomberman RPG for Game Boy Advance. This webpage covers several news and event announcements. A top-left article discusses using Sega Saturn peripherals on PC for games like House of the Dead 2, facilitated by the IFSEGA2/HOD expansion board. On the top right, an online fishing game event, World Fishing, hosted by @Nifty, is promoted, offering prizes like accommodation. The middle left section previews Capcom's Clock Tower 3 for PlayStation 2, highlighting its cinematic style. The middle right announces the Broccoli Card Game Show /DGI Sherrett Festival in Tokyo, featuring tournaments, voice actress Asa Maruta, and merchandise sales. The bottom left describes the Nanja Golden Magic Hour event at Namja Town, including magic shows and a scavenger hunt. Finally, the bottom right provides access information for amusement parks like Namja Town and Joyopolis. This page features a variety of announcements and promotions, not directly related to Dreamcast games but part of the magazine's content. At the top left, there's an announcement for Keitai Purica, a prepaid mobile phone card service for NTT Docomo, AOO, and J-Phone phones. Moving to the top right, it's announced that the Bit Tours store in Shibuya, Spain Slope, which opened in October '98, will be closing at the end of May. It was described as a shop with unique items and various media. The Dreamaga Recommended Events This Week section lists events from April 27th to May 10th, including the Treasure Island Collection Market 13 on May 4th and COSPA Final Event on May 5th. Below, the Goods and Presents section advertises a campaign to win one of 3 types of mobile phones, 10 of each model, totaling 30 phones as prizes. There's also a new Palinki snack campaign, where you can win goods by collecting Palinki marks. Finally, at the bottom, Spot Selection Assume Media Information highlights the movie Little Nicky, English title, Little Nicky, promoting it as a comedy with a huge budget and latest VFX. It mentions Adam Sandler as the star and other actors. And at the bottom right, Pick Up! Movie Little Nicky announces a trial screening present event for the movie on May 21st. This page is the front cover of the rebranded Dreamcast Magazine, previously known as Dreamcast Magazine, dated May 11th, a Friday. This issue marks the start of the new Dreamcast bi-weekly publication to provide more enriched content. The cover highlights the date as a key feature and teases the contents within. Featured games prominently displayed include Sonic Adventure 2, Outrigger, Crazy Taxi 2, Air, Canaria/Rhapsody of Memories, Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, Virtua Striker 3, Biohazard Code, Veronica, and Shenmue 2. The page also hints at network game coverage and future developments for the Dreamcast. The price of the magazine is 550 yen. The publication information is for SoftBank Publishing, and the page also references the GameSpot Japan website for more information. The Dreamcast software sales chart is topped by Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, with 28,510 copies sold this week and a total of 283,045. New entries Canvas Sepia Colored Motif, Medleys, and Eldorado Gate Volume 4 take 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, respectively. Canvas Sepia Colored Motif sold 20,462 copies. East sold 5,745 copies, and Eldorado Gate Volume 4 sold 5,467 copies. Love Hina Smile Again, Illbleed, NBA 2K1, Fighter Wrestling D, Sakura Wars, and Biohazard Code. Veronica Complete Version complete the top 10. Love Hina Smile Again sold 4,611 copies this week. Illbleed, NBA 2K1, Fighter Wrestling D, Sakura Wars, and Biohazard Code. Veronica Complete Version sold 3,939, 2,879, 2,861, 2,758, and 2,709 copies respectively. Center. Several titles are down from last week but still remain popular with players. Dreamcast Magazine's reader poll reveals the top 30 most anticipated games. Shenmue 2 takes the top spot, with a preview focusing on its Game Jam demo and new features. Comic Party, a visual novel, ranks second, followed by Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon, an action game based on the anime. The remaining top 30 includes titles like Crazy Taxi 2, Phantasy Star Online Ver 2, Sonic Adventure 2, and a variety of action, adventure, and visual novel games. The weekly pickup spotlights Yume no Tsubasa Fate of Heart, a romance adventure game. Exodus Guilty Neos, Heavy Metal Geomatrix, is previewed, emphasizing enhanced content. Brief previews also highlight Phantasy Star Online Ver 2 and Princess Maker Collection, with the latter's release date approaching. This page features two main rankings. The first is the Dreamcast Reader's Choice Most Anticipated Title Ranking, TOP 20, which lists the top 20 most wanted Dreamcast games as voted for by readers. Number 1 is Knights, followed by The King of Fighters 2000 and Tales of Eternia. Other games in the list include Tokimeki Memorial 2, Onimusha, Shining Force Series, Grandia, Burning Rangers, To Heart, Princess Crown, and Metal Gear Solid. Below this is the Video Game Income Ranking Top 15, which lists the top 15 highest-earning arcade games. Derby Owners Club 2000 tops this chart, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Guilty Gear X. Other popular arcade titles listed include Virtua Striker 2 Ver 2000, Tekken Tag Tournament, The King of Fighters 2000, and Street Fighter 0-3 Upper. The weekly pickup section highlights Zero Gunner 2, a 3D shooting game where you rotate the playfield to attack in 360 degrees, Virtua Fighter 4, and Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, with screenshots of gameplay. Finally, there are small announcements for the visual novel AIR and the action puzzle game Cosmic SMASH, indicating they are in development for Dreamcast with screenshots. This document outlines the release schedule for Sega games across Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Game Boy Advance. The Dreamcast section details releases from May 2001 through August 2001, followed by games slated for within 2001 and those with release date undecided. Key Dreamcast titles include Crazy Taxi 2, Sonic Adventure 2, and Phantasy Star Online Version 2. The PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Game Boy Advance sections focus on Sega titles being published by other companies. PlayStation 2's list includes titles such as Sakura Wars, while the Xbox list features Jet Set Radio Future and Panzer Dragoon Orta. The Game Boy Advance list includes Puyo Puyo and Sonic the Hedgehog Advance. All titles listed in these sections have release date undecided. This page highlights Dreamcast games featuring reader rankings and a review of the new arrival, Canvas Sepia Color Motif. The ranking is led by Sakura Wars 3. Canvas is an adventure game praised for its watercolor graphics, detailed art, and immersive atmosphere. While similar to Canon, its expressive characters and Dreamcast-exclusive elements are appealing. Reader comments are mixed, some appreciating it as a good gal game with a pleasant story, despite limited event, CGs, and BGM variety. Others recommend it for its quality graphics and system features. One reviewer notes the game's concise stories and affordable price. The page explains its scoring system, based on reader votes and average scores. It also details honorable mention and Hall of Fame titles, recognizing games with consistently high scores over time, rewarding titles that maintain 9 points or higher for extended periods, with milestones at 10, 20, 30, and 50 weeks. This page reviews Dreamcast software, highlighting 4 games. Phantasy Star Online Variant 2, ranked 4th, receives praise for character customization, online play, and dungeon exploration, despite weapon and character limitations. Illbleed, a horror action game at 163rd, is lauded for its depth and unique experience, despite control and trap placement issues. Aim, an adventure game ranked 200th, is praised for its mature themes, live-action visuals, and cinematic qualities, although some operability issues exist. Finally, Love Hina Smile, Go Next, debuts at 229th and is considered easily playable, though some find the scenario progression lacking and the price high, despite improvements in map navigation. The page also features a top 100 ranking, listing games from 45th to 102nd place. This page highlights the latest Dreamcast software rankings, showcasing 3 top titles. Number 1 is Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, praised for its engaging story, charming characters, and improved battle system. Reviewers note its high level of polish and the desire to replay to experience all the character endings. Ranked 37th is Resident Evil Code, Veronica X, receiving acclaim for its graphics, scenario, sound, and the bonus Wesker Report DVD. It's noted as a definitive version for Dreamcast, exceeding expectations. Coming in at 53rd is Sega, a unique simulation game lauded for its satirical take on Sega and the game industry. Reviewers emphasize its humor, catchy music, and engaging gameplay, highlighting its distinctiveness and appeal to Sega fans. Below these highlighted titles, the page presents a comprehensive ranking list from 103rd to 160th place, listing various Dreamcast games with their genres, prices, and review scores. This page features a spotlight on 100 Swords, questioning if it's a must-buy Dreamcast title. The game is described as a network-based strategy title, played from a 2-player perspective, emphasizing strategic battles and adventure elements. The review section, penned by Hokushin Mitsuhiro, praises 100 Swords as a highly anticipated title, highlighting its deep strategic gameplay and network features as key selling points. The manufacturer's comments from planner Yamada Richiro present in a speech bubble, propose gameplay scenarios that encourage strategic thinking and emphasize the game's focus on strategic battles and network play. Reader comments echo this sentiment, emphasizing the game's strategic depth, replayability, and engaging network features. Below this feature is the continuation of the Dreamcast software rankings, now covering positions 161 to 218. This list details various Dreamcast games with their genres, publishers, and review scores. There's also a 100 Swords hearsay information section, providing extra details about the PC version, CD-ROM information, and illustration credits. Several screenshots throughout the page showcase the gameplay of 100 Swords. The next page presents the Dreamcast All Software Full Catalog sections E and F, continuing the extensive list of games with rankings and scores. It highlights the game's Sega, noting its jump in rankings to Brank, and includes comments on its performance in the charts, mentioning other games like Fighting Vipers 2 and Sakura Wars, Kino no Chikai. A section titled Dreamcast Emperor Review discusses the Dreamcast status, calling it the lowest rank Emperor, and mentions the game Nazo di EB Eris in the context of this discussion. The page also features sections listing latest ranking scheduled software and in release now, ranking expected software, showcasing upcoming and newly released games anticipated to perform well in the charts. Game screenshots are interspersed throughout the page, illustrating various titles within the catalog. This Dreamcast report previews several games and includes reader comments. Game previews include Angel Present 6.0, Spirit of Speed 1937 5.33, Eldorado Gate Episode 4 7.33, and Close to Inori no Oka 8.33. All games support VGA and peripherals. The report also features a ranking of Dreamcast peripherals and reader feedback. Readers discuss the difficulty of finding used games, enthusiasm for the console, the trend of character designs, game release cancellations, expensive demo kiosks, and a feature on Mr. Dreamer. Thus, a farewell message to Dorimaga hints at its potential closure. The report concludes with details about an ongoing Dreamcast Readers Race contest, inviting predictions on Phantasy Star Online Ver.2 rankings and a double chance odds prediction game for Discrimson OX. Winners of a previous contest are also announced. This page features game reviews from Dreamcast Magazine. It explains their scoring system, ranging from 1, product level, to 10, must buy. Reviews are based on pre-release software and represent the opinions of editors, female users, responsible writers, and guest writers. 2 games are reviewed. Advanced Military Strategy 2001, Daisen Ryaku 2001. A simulation game, receives a score of 7 out of 10. Reviewers praise its improved graphics, strategic depth, large maps, and network play capabilities. It's noted to be appealing to strategy game enthusiasts and those interested in World War II settings. The game is described as having a perfected system and satisfying volume, but some reviewers hoped for more innovative elements beyond just graphical improvements. Death Crimson OX, a gun shooting game, scores 6.33 out of 10. It is described as a home console version that aims to be more accessible than the arcade version, but this shift to a more standard gun shooting experience is seen as somewhat disappointing by reviewers who missed the unique aspects of the previous Death Crimson 2. While playable and having some enjoyable frantic moments, the game is considered less impressive overall, with some concerns about enemy appearances and sound effects. Reviewers suggest it might still appeal to fans of gun shooting games or those looking for a House of the Dead style experience, despite not fully capturing the Dead's atmosphere. Dreamcast Magazine's special feature looks back at its 4.5 years, analyzing data on featured games and creators. Most page count titles reveals Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, with the most coverage at 344 pages, followed by Advanced Military Strategy 2001 and Shenmue. Other highly ranked games include Rent a Hero No. 1 and Sakura Wars 3. The Most Appearances Creators section identifies Suzuoki Hiroki, AM2CRI, with 135 appearances, primarily for his work on Shenmue. Ohara, Guru Guru Onsen, and Nakatani Hiroshi, Sonic Team, also rank high. This analysis, commemorating the magazine's end and rebranding, offers a nostalgic look at its content. The page concludes by highlighting Suzuoki Hiroki as a representative of Sega's contributions. This page is titled, Topics Keyword, Really, is the DC over? It reports on Sega's Game Jam event held on April 14th and 15th at ZEP Tokyo, which drew unexpectedly large crowds. The event showcased various games, including Sakura Wars 3, Phantasy Star Online Verdant 2, Shenmue 2, and Sonic Adventure 2. And the article mentions a Gundam Whirlwind in relation to Gundam Battle Online. The PSO Ver 2 was playable for the first time, with rare items from Ver 2 attracting attention. Shenmue 2 was also featured in a video, and a Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure demo was available. The event featured top Sega creators, with images showing them on stage. Cosplayers were also present, and the article highlights a child cosplaying as a character from Sakura Wars 3. The overall tone is positive, emphasizing the enthusiasm of Sega fans and the strength of the Dreamcast, despite the question posed in the title about the Dreamcast's future. There's also a section promoting a Cosmic Smash transplant, hinting at its release, and a competition to win Dreamcast goods. This page is titled, Dreamcast After Sales Service Investigation Team, Digging into Secret Desires. It addresses common questions about Dreamcast after-sales service, particularly now that production has stopped. The first section humorously acknowledges that Dreamcast is still popular and running well, but questions what happens if it breaks down. It mentions that while Dreamcast manufacturing has stopped, the price has dropped to 9,900 yen, and there's still stock available. It highlights the popularity of Sakura Wars 3, and shows images of Sakura and Koran from the game alongside a Dreamcast console and controller. The second section asks how long after-sales service will continue. It confirms that parts will be kept for 6 years, assuring owners that service will continue for a reasonable period, similar to older Sega consoles. Finally, it details the support services currently available. There are phone numbers listed for various types of queries, including general Dreamcast and software support, network-related issues, prize inquiries for Sega Prize UFO catcher items, mobile content support, and PC software and network support through ISAO.net. Images associated with these sections include a UFO catcher prize plush, Doraemon characters related to PC software, and a Sega game screenshot. Sega's interview with Okada-san details Dreamcast after-sales support. 2 main centers provide support: the Dreamcast Support Center for console and software, and the Network Support Center for network issues. The 24-hour call center shifted to daytime operation due to low nighttime inquiries. Repairs for limited edition Dreamcasts are possible, with efforts to preserve special casing. Standard white parts may be used if needed. Parts are guaranteed for at least 6 years. The Dreamcast Q&A section provides contact details and advises users to check the website for troubleshooting. Support for Saturn, Game Gear, handled by Tomy, and even Sega digital cameras is also available. The text encourages users to consider their Dreamcast usage when deciding on repairs, reiterating that repairs are possible as long as parts are available. The latest information is available on the Sega homepage. This advertisement details a Sayonara Dreamcast Magazine telephone card campaign featuring 7 designs based on popular Dreamcast games. Each card design is associated with a specific magazine issue. Featured games include Sakura Wars 3, Phantasy Star Online, 2 versions, The Rhapsody of Zephyr, Skies of Arcadia, Close to Inori no Oka, Shenmue 2, and a card possibly related to Sega Gaga. Readers can apply for a card by using a dedicated form within the magazine. The process involves choosing a card design and paying 850 yen at the post office. Each successful applicant will receive a 50-degree commemorative telephone card. Important notices emphasize using the correct form, completing all fields, and limiting applications to 1 card per person within Japan. Payment and application are limited to post office hours, and cancellations are not permitted. Delivery is restricted to within Japan. This page showcases more of the Dreamcast Magazine telephone card campaign. It features designs numbered 8 through 13. Card number 8, titled Iroi Rogue Suku by Takemoto Izumi, shows an image of 2 girls with a cat. Number 9, Dorimaga Dora-chan's Game Review by Tarahako Naiko, features the magazine's mascot, Dora-chan, reviewing games. Card 10 is Dejigoro Channel by Obotsuki Baruno, and depicts a witch-like character. Card 11, DC Game Tora no Ana by Komura Shikakoko, displays a striking red-clad female character. Card 12, Guru Guru Creature by Uekusa Yumiko, shows a playful cartoonish scene. Finally, Card 13, Sega's Game Hirobane by Samsung Yoshio, features a robot and bomb imagery. The page emphasizes that this is part of a series, and for those applying for 2 or more telephone cards, a special Dreamcast Magazine card holder will be given as a present. The designs are based on past Dreamcast Magazine covers, highlighting the magazine's history. This page is a special feature titled, We Won't Forget These 2.5 Years, Sayonara Dreamcast Magazine. It announces the end of Dreamcast Magazine after 2.5 years of publication, coinciding with the end of Dreamcast production in March. The article reflects on the magazine's journey since its launch on November 6, 1998, with the inaugural issue featuring Sonic Adventure on the cover. It marks this issue as the last under the weekly Dreamcast Magazine name, and announces a fresh start with the next issue being reborn as Dorimaga. The page showcases several milestone covers of the magazine. The first cover shown is from November 6, 1998, the launch issue, highlighting Sonic Adventure. Another cover, dated January 27, 2001, labeled as the latest issue, features characters from Sakura Wars and Fly. The final cover, from May 11, 2001, announces Dorimaga New Magazine and features characters from Phantasy Star Online Ver.2. The text emphasizes that even though Dreamcast Magazine is ending, the spirit for Sega fans and Dreamcast users will continue with Dorimaga, promising a new era for the publication. It mentions the magazine reached exactly 100 issues during its 2.5-year run, including special supplementary editions. The page concludes with the phrase, "And then to Dorimaga." In Dreamcast Magazine's End at the End, Sega president Shoichiro Irimajiri discusses the success of Sakura Wars 3, its impressive sales, and the decision to continue the series despite the Dreamcast's production halt, fueled by fan demand. He expressed confidence in the Dreamcast fanbase and emphasized the importance of Sakura Wars as a game-first project, highlighting Sega's strong connection with its fans. Following the interview, a Goodbye DCM section presents signed artwork from Dreamcast Magazine's manga artists as a farewell gift. Artists like Samsung Yoshimatsu, Uekusa Humiko, Tatsuneko, Takemoto Izumi, Utsuki Baruno, and Kamimura Sachiko each contributed unique illustrations of manga characters, some including dates and references to their series and Dreamcast Magazine itself. In an interview titled, "Games Are for People, Dreamcast is for People's Best Machine," Sega president Koichiro Irimajiri reflects on the Dreamcast. He envisioned the console as a gateway for games to expand into anime and movies, highlighting the importance of voice acting and live song shows. Iramajiri reiterates the Dreamcast's design as the best machine for gaming. He acknowledges that the Dreamcast's advanced networking capabilities were ahead of their time, leading to Sega's financial struggles. Despite the challenges, he sees the Dreamcast as a symbol of their bold foray into the network business. The page also details giveaways, including posters, a neck holder, and Sonic Team merchandise. Game companies like WoW Entertainment and Hitmaker share messages about their upcoming Dreamcast games, while Sonic Team reminisces about Phantasy Star Online and hopes for a Dreamcast 2 with continued success, aiming to invigorate the gaming industry. This page delves into the story behind the naming of the Dreamcast and the creation of its spiral logo. It reveals that the name Dreamcast was conceived by combining dream and broadcast, signifying the console's aim to deliver dreams to a wide audience. The logo's spiral design is described as representing infinite possibilities in communication. The article mentions that there were many name candidates, including suggestions from an American consultant company and Sega employees. Ultimately, Inasan came up with the name Dreamcast. The orange color associated with the Dreamcast, Dream Orange, was also decided by Okawa-san, inspired by a desire to move away from Sega's traditional cold blue image and create a warm and approachable feel. The design process for the logo involved incorporating the idea of infinite possibilities in communication. The bottom of the page details giveaway prizes for readers, including Sega Rosso t-shirts, Radiant Silvergun t-shirts, and Bomberman plush toys. There are also messages from Sega Rosso, Treasure, and Hudson about Dreamcast Magazine's final issue and their continued support for the Dreamcast platform. The article Sega and Sega's Creators features a Sega representative discussing the Dreamcast and its legacy. The representative highlights the Dreamcast as a platform for innovative creators, enabling unique titles like Shenmue and Phantasy Star Online. They reflect on the Saturn's struggles, contrasting them with the Dreamcast's success in attracting diverse developers and releasing impactful games. While Space Channel 5 was well received, sales were not as expected. The article includes screenshots of key Dreamcast games and details about their creation. Shenmue is presented as a passion project, and Phantasy Star Online as a landmark online title. Additionally, the page promotes prizes and features messages from game companies. Kadokawa Shoten celebrates the Dreamcast's power and their enjoyment of the games. WEB System notes the ease of development but unfortunate market conditions. RED Entertainment expresses gratitude and offers encouragement for continued collaboration. This page is a special feature titled Messages from Us Now, focusing on the Dreamcast. It includes an interview with Mr. Irino, who describes the Dreamcast as dream in a single word, reflecting on the era and how they aim to create games considering trends and individual creativity. He acknowledges the shift towards more casual games in the industry. The page details meeting Mr. Irino at the Tokyo Game Show, where he signed a Dreamcast console with the message, "Dreams Continue," and his name and date. The article discusses the end of Dreamcast hardware production, but emphasizes that Dreamcast games are still available, and that dream is not easily achievable but crucial for hope. It mentions that Dreamcast Magazine is concluding its current format this week, but will continue in a new form, with the next issue scheduled for May 11th, Friday. The section is dedicated to Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, praising its Neo-CG graphics and the staff's accomplishment, positioning it as a memorable title for the Dreamcast. The next page is a special feature focusing on Virtua Fighter 4. It highlights the impressive graphics and immersive feel of the game, emphasizing its evolution from previous versions. The article explores the new systems being introduced in Virtua Fighter 4, developed based on player feedback and aiming for both accessibility and depth. An interview with the team leader, Mr. Kataoka, is featured, discussing 4 new systems in Virtua Fighter 4. One highlighted system is Wall Crush, where strong attacks can break through walls, expanding the fighting area and creating ring-out opportunities. Another new system is Counterattack, focusing on strategic guarding and counterattacking, where holding a button allows for guard breaks. Mr. Kataoka mentions the game is designed to be enjoyable, focusing on fun gameplay and introducing these new systems to enhance the experience. The game is being developed for the Sega NAOMI2 arcade system and is a 12-player fighting game, currently at 55% completion. It's noted that Dreamcast Magazine will cover more details on the new systems. The page also mentions the introduction of a new character named Lei Fei. Virtua Fighter 4 refines its characters and introduces new gameplay systems. Each character receives subtle adjustments. Pai-chan's design is being rebuilt, Akira Yuki's techniques are being refined, and Lao Chan's aggressive style is enhanced. Key gameplay additions include evade attack, allowing counterattacks during evasion, adding depth and strategic options. Yukemi, recovery, enables quicker recovery from knockdowns, aiming to reduce downtime and balance gameplay. Wall offense, defense, integrates the wall as a crucial game element, encouraging strategic use of the environment. Finally, the ability to perform Yukemi before landing after being knocked down is introduced, reducing the frequency of down situations compared to the previous game. This page is dedicated to Virtua Fighter 4, highlighting its evolution and refinements. The page emphasizes two key aspects: grabbing mechanics for AI character and the incorporation of professional wrestling elements, likely for Wolf. Character spotlights include comments from the developers. For Shun Di, the focus is on maintaining his unique characteristics and creating situations to better leverage his drunken style. Pai Chan's martial arts are described as using the opponent's power, making her attacks more effective. For Wolf, the developers are working on incorporating large, impactful wrestling moves and utilizing professional wrestling-like techniques from Virtua Fighter 3, such as catch-based attacks, aiming to effectively use footwork. The main section features an interview with Kataoka Daiji, the development team leader from AM2 of CRI for Virtua Fighter 4. Kataoka mentions that the game is 55% complete and in the adjustment phase. He emphasizes the goal of making Virtua Fighter 4 easy to understand for new players, yet offering deep gameplay for veterans. The focus is on creating a system where players can easily grasp the basics, while still allowing for extensive depth and strategic play. Kataoka also notes that they are aiming to make a true sequel to Virtua Fighter, and are currently working on refining various aspects of the game. Virtua Fighter 4's development focuses on character refinements and gameplay improvements. Jeffrey is a power character, while Kagemaru is redesigned to embody a ninja's swiftness. Jackie, Sarah, and Lion are confirmed, with focus on Jackie's feints, Sarah's throws, and unique motion captures for Lion. A new female character with Thunderbolt-like characteristics is teased. Gameplay is 55% complete, emphasizing clearer wall combos and improved tempo. Character individuality is being refined, along with visual details like faces and clothing. Developers aim to recapture the original Virtua Fighter feel with engaging gameplay and distinct character personalities. Motion capture is significantly improved, resulting in more realistic animations. The goal is to create an enjoyable experience for all players with engaging versus battles. This page showcases the Grandia 2 World Guidance Official Setting Material Collection book. It highlights that the book contains secret production materials, revealing all aspects of the world of Grandia 2, a highly acclaimed RPG. The page displays sections from the book including character designs like Ryudo and Elena, world sections like Egil and Foideus, monster designs, story sections, animation details, and even music staff interviews, indicating a comprehensive behind-the-scenes look at the game's development. This page is dedicated to Shenmue 2 and reports from the Game Jam in ZEP Tokyo event, where Sega presented the first public gameplay footage. The headline proclaims the arrival of the latest gameplay footage and rising anticipation for the game. The page features a prominent image of Shenhua, a key character in Shenmue 2, alongside screenshots from the game. The event included a stage presentation by Yu Suzuki and a screening of Shenmue the movie. Around 3 minutes of Shenmue 2 gameplay footage was revealed to attendees. Game data details indicate the game is planned for 4 discs and single-player, with the release date and price yet to be determined. The game is developed by Full Reactive Eyes Entertainment. This page details the latest information on Shenmue 2, announcing Ryo Hazuki's arrival in Hong Kong. It highlights 3 key aspects of the game. Firstly, it focuses on the Hong Kong stage production, showcasing the character Hong Zhu Ying, Red Hibiscus, performing martial arts in a flowing dress with a full moon backdrop. This scene was present in earlier footage, but is now even more dynamic. Secondly, it introduces new appearance characters. These include Hong Zhu Ying, Ku Shui, described as a knowledgeable woman with a refined expression, and Kun Fanmei, Kaori Mei, a cheerful 15-year-old girl. Another character, Dao Tai, a large, imposing man with seemingly malicious intent, is also introduced. Thirdly, it spotlights the quiet debut of the skillful martial artist, Ren Wu Ying, Len Wu Ying. Ren is depicted as a gang leader in Hong Kong's Aberdeen district. Gameplay scenes show Ren with a knife, approaching silently. The text suggests he has a cold demeanor, but hints at a deeper warmth within. The page also covers a Shenmue 2-stage event, where Yu Suzuki himself played the game and provided explanations. Attendees witnessed gameplay for the first time, and the event featured a talk show format with Mr. Takenouchi from Dengeki-kan. Suzuki explained that the game's field is significantly larger, around 10 times bigger than Kowloon City, allowing players to interact with almost every character. He also introduced the Action Select system and the Navi Map feature, which received very positive feedback from players, enhancing playability. Shenmue 2 significantly expands upon the original, featuring improvements in multiple areas. Combat includes battles with multiple enemies in various environments, and the inclusion of QTEs. The game introduces several new characters, including Joy, a trader's daughter, and Hongshu Ying, who acts as a supportive figure. Zunfeng Mei is featured in a memorable scene. Shenhua, the heroine, appears in the China mainland section. The game also showcases diverse combat scenarios, including one-on-one battles, and a female character employing moves from the Virtua Fighter series. A command QTE system was revealed at an event, with specific command inputs, adding a new layer of challenge. The event was attended by voice actors Yu Suzuki and Takenouchi, creating an engaging experience. This page is an urgent report focusing on two visual novel games, Canon and AIR, both from Key. Canon, previously released on PC, is being ported to the Dreamcast. The article highlights the game's development history, noting it was initially created with limited resources, but gained significant popularity, especially online. The Dreamcast version is expected to be a faithful port, retaining the original game's atmosphere and story. AIR is presented as Key's latest title, described as a moving adventure graphic, with the tagline, "Summer continues where as well in the air." The game's themes are described as summer, encounters with girls, and gentle days that pass by. It's mentioned that AR is highly anticipated, ranking high in pre-release polls, even surpassing Canon in popularity. The game is set in a summer countryside town and is said to be a grand fantasy depicting encounters between girls and something else. The article mentions that AR is planned for release in autumn on Dreamcast and Windows. At the bottom of the page, technical details are listed, including that AIR is for NEC Interchannel, will be released on disc, supports one player, and is an ADV adventure game. Website addresses for Key and Visual Arts are also provided for further information. The next page presents character introductions for AIR. It features 3 key characters. Kano Kirishima, depicted holding a green object, described as a classmate who loves animals, especially cats and dogs, is good at cooking, and is a committee member at school, with her line being, "This week is over." Misuzu Kamio is shown sitting on a chair, portrayed as a girl with a mysterious air, who smiles often, likes potatoes and mayonnaise, and has a somewhat strange and unique way of speaking, with her quote, "Look up, it's a clear blue sky." Minagi Tohno is illustrated reading a book while lying down, characterized as a beautiful and gentle girl, quiet and bookish. Her line is, "That, and Gaio." The page concludes with closing lines from each girl. "Is this the end next time?" Minagi. "Because, Kano." And Gaio, Misuzu. Alongside copyright information for Visual Arts Key NEC Interchannel from 2001. Comic Party is a simulation adventure game where players become aspiring doujinshi artists. Doujinshi, self-published fan comics, are the core of the game, encompassing various genres. Players begin creating and selling their manga at events, improving skills to climb the ranks. The PC version included a practice command for skill development that may be absent in the Dreamcast version. The game features stat screens tracking drawing, inking, coloring, stamina, and money. Development stages like plotting, penciling, inking, and toning are visually represented. Screenshots showcase character art, dialogue, and sales interactions. The game, categorized as ADV plus SLG, was released on June 28 with standard and limited editions. The limited edition included special packaging, a telephone card, setting materials, and a figure. The title screen with the Press Start button prompt is also shown. The next page details the gameplay loop of Comic Party, focusing on the doujinshi creation process. You start by selecting a genre for your manga, from anime and games to original creations, and deciding on the page count, which influences the cost. The game operates on a weekly schedule, with commands like draw manuscript, exercise, watch TV, and part-time job to manage your character's stamina and finances. Drawing manuscript is the core activity, initiated through command inputs. Player input speed and accuracy directly affect the manuscript's quality, alongside the character's inherent drawing skills, creativity, drawing power, and finishing technique, which improve as you work. Quality can be prioritized by drawing carefully, or quantity by rushing, impacting skill development. Deadlines are crucial, about a month in-game time, and missing them triggers panic mode. This mode doubles your drawing speed, but drains stamina quickly, described as a risky option. Once the manga is complete, you set the price and decide on the print run, balancing sales potential against printing costs and potential losses from unsold copies. Ready for the comic party event itself. Weekdays are for work and skill improvement, while weekends and holidays are for resting, recovering stamina, and interacting with heroines, offering event opportunities and phone calls. Running out of stamina leads to collapse and lost time, emphasizing the importance of rest and using stamina recovering items like drink recovery. This page from Dreamcast Magazine's special report on Comic Party highlights that creating doujinshi is not the only aspect of the game, and becoming friends with the girls leads to various events. There are several pickup sections showcasing these events. One is Sporty Girl and Summer Sea, depicting a beach event where you partner with a sporty girl during summer, suggesting mini-games or activities in a summer setting. Another event, Thank You for Your Hard Work, Minami-san, shows the character Minami from the Komipa Management Company found tired at the office, implying interactions with staff outside of the doujinshi circles. First Time Helping Out features Ayana in a part-time job scenario, potentially involving simple tasks, and describes a feeling of nervousness about being helpful. Take Good Care of Your Skin too focuses on character care, showing a girl in pajamas concerned with skincare and makeup for cosplay events, emphasizing presentation for public appearances. Aya's Art Material Explanation Lecture and The Mysterious Part-Time Job Location Is both point to Aya's part-time job at an art supply store in a shopping mall, where she enthusiastically explains art materials to the protagonist, showcasing her knowledge of art and offering a different interaction outside of doujinshi creation. This page continues the coverage of Comic Party, focusing on the Dreamcast version and introducing a new heroine for this DC edition. The page highlights a shy girl character named Subaru Mikage, described as a fan of Kamipa, who is extremely shy and blushes easily. It mentions that in Kamipa, she is depicted with a slightly different expression, appearing more melancholic at times. This girl is the new heroine for the Dreamcast version, and is being introduced concurrently with the protagonist. The text suggests that meeting her will likely happen at a convention. The screenshots showcase scenes with Subaru, including one where she's holding a yellow cat plush. A character designer is credited as Nakamura Takeshi, and the voice actress is listed as Koorogi Satomi. There's also a comment box saying, "Please look at me. This is Subaru's first doujin work. I did my best to make it." The page mentions that she will be a character who embodies the Komipa feel, and to look forward to the events she will be involved in. The next page introduces Yume no Tsubasa, Fate of Heart, an adventure game where your heart warms up as you play. It's described as a new work from KID, known for its well-crafted and emotionally engaging scenarios. This game promises to be an adventure that gently warms the player's heart and brings back nostalgic feelings, emphasizing the character's emotions even more than previous works. Character profiles are featured for two main heroines. First, there's Shizuku Amagumo, voiced by Amy Motoi, described as an unfathomable resident. She is 17 years old, 160 centimeters tall, born on May 16th, with blood type A and measurements 805686. The description mentions she suddenly appears before the protagonist and becomes a resident. She's described as a serious girl with a natural air, sometimes showing lonely expressions. The second character is Yuki Fukuyama, voiced by Tomoko Otani, the protagonist's childhood friend. She is 16 years old, 163 centimeters tall, born on November 11th, with blood type O and measurements 866087. She's the daughter of the protagonist's uncle and aunt, making her a cousin and childhood friend from kindergarten. They have been classmates ever since. She is also the protagonist's first love interest, and is portrayed as a helpful, older sister type who notices the protagonist's feelings for Shizuku when she appears. Game data is provided indicating it's an ADV adventure game, scheduled for release by Key ID in July. The price is 6,800 yen, 360 points. The game's website address is also listed. This page highlights the Dreamcast version improvements for the adventure game Yume no Tsubasa, Fate of Heart. The visuals from the PlayStation version have been refined and polished by the original artist for the Dreamcast release. The story centers around a protagonist who dreams of flying and encounters a girl named Shizuku. The Dreamcast version is adding more movie scenes, scenarios focusing on Shizuku, and extra CG artwork, expanding on the PlayStation version's content. It also features a scenario download system, similar to the one used for Never 7, allowing for additional content to be downloaded later. Two new characters are introduced here. Miri Shirokawa, voiced by Masayo Kurata, who is a 15-year-old childhood friend of the protagonist, and Akisui Nanao, voiced by Ayako Kawasumi, a 20-year-old university student who works at a local cafe and acts like an older sister figure. This page is a preview of the Green Forest stage from Sonic Adventure 2. It describes Green Forest as a stage where Sonic speeds through a rainforest after escaping from Prison Island. The stage is said to have many obstacles, including large trees and hollowed-out logs that Sonic can use to navigate. The page highlights a stage checkpoint, noting a time limit of 8 minutes. It mentions that in this stage, Sonic confronts Shadow, and the level is filled with a countdown of bombs. Players must reach the goal within the 8-minute time limit. There is an announcement for a Game Jam and ZEP Tokyo event on April 14th and 15th, where people can experience Sonic Adventure 2 for the first time. The page also mentions Hero and Dark, two directions of gameplay, stating that since the demo version of Phantasy Star Online, this is the first time players can experience Sonic Adventure 2. The event was very popular with long queues, and one stage was playable. It mentions that all 6 characters are playable in the demo version, and VS Play is also possible. Shadow was particularly popular among players. Finally, there's a section about Sonic's 10th anniversary goods release. It features a picture of Yuji Naka, and mentions silver rings as 10th anniversary commemorative goods, available for reservations starting in June. Sonic Adventure 2 introduces 2 new stages. On the hero side, Eggman explores the Lost Colony, a dark, abandoned space colony, utilizing his jet-powered Egg Walker. The dark side features Rouge infiltrating Eggman's base, Egg Quarters, filled with ancient ruins and robot patrols, with ghostly apparitions adding challenge. A key item, Ancient Melody, lets players trigger effects at Knuckles Clan pedestals. An article by Sonic Team's Nakagawa confirms the game's global release on June 23rd, Sonic's birthday. The game offers 30 stages featuring Sonic, Eggman, playable for the first time, and new characters like Rouge, alongside Battle Play, promising extensive gameplay. It also notes Sonic's 10th anniversary, hinting at related celebrations. Sonic Adventure 2's Versus Mode, a hit at events like Game Jam, pits players against each other in hero versus dark battles. The mode emphasizes ring collection to fuel special moves. Timing is key for strategic attacks. One game style, the Sonic vs. Shadow running battle, prioritizes speed. Players race to the finish, with falling off the stage or being hit impacting the outcome. Special moves provide an advantage. Hero characters. Sonic and dark character Shadow share similar moves. Speed Up, 20 rings, Sonic Wind/Chaos Spear, 40 rings, and Time Stop/Chaos Control, 60 rings. Speed Up grants a speed boost. Sonic Wind/Chaos Spear damages opponents, and Time Stop/Chaos Control freezes time. This page highlights the Versus mode in Sonic Adventure 2, showcasing 2 distinct battle types. The first is Tails vs. Eggman in Walker Lock-On aerial battles. This mode is a shooting battle where players pilot walkers and try to deplete each other's health. Ring collection is crucial to fuel special attacks and recover health. Tails and Eggman share moves like the Laser Missile, Rocket Launcher, and Power Laser, each with varying ring costs and effects. The second battle type is Knuckles vs. Rouge in a treasure hunt, described as, "Can you find treasures faster than your opponent?" This mode involves locating emeralds hidden in the stage, with the first to find 2 winning. Hints and teamwork are key. Knuckles and Rouge each have unique special moves. Knuckles' moves include Hammer Punch, Thunder Arrow, and Power Flash. Rouge's moves are Hip Drop, Black Wave, and Charm Ray. These moves also have ring costs and various effects. from stunning opponents to dealing damage. Phantasy Star Online Vera. 2 introduces Ultimate Mode, challenging level 80+ characters with evolved ragdoll monsters. This mode raises the Force class technique level cap to 30, significantly boosting their power, especially Rafwa. Online play requires a level 80 minimum, with a level cap potentially reaching 200, promising challenging battles even for level 100 characters. A pre-release game jam on April 14th and 15th showcased Vera. 2, featuring hands-on play and attracting long queues. Attendees enjoyed explanations and experienced the game. Key developers, including Sonic Team's president, gave talks and revealed new item information. The event hinted at an expansion of the MAG element and included cosplayers. Dreamcast Magazine promises continued coverage of the updates. The next page details the battle mode in Phantasy Star Online Vera. 2, highlighting its new features and strategic depth. This mode allows for customizable battle rules, offering diverse match types beyond just defeating opponents. Players can now strategically use traps during battles. There are 4 types of traps available: damage traps, freeze traps, slow traps, and confusion traps. These traps can be placed strategically to hinder opponents. The battle mode introduces maze-like stages, designed to encourage trap usage and strategic maneuvering. One specific game mode highlighted is the Meseta Contest Battle, where the goal is to collect the most Meseta scattered throughout the stage, adding a different objective to combat. The page emphasizes that battle mode offers evolving gameplay, with numerous strategic possibilities and replayability, going beyond simply chasing and attacking opponents. Phantasy Star Online Vera. 2 introduces new features, including exciting rare items obtainable in Ultimate Mode, such as the Flight Cutter and Yoibu. Dead. The game also features enhanced battles with stronger enemies like Millie and Sil Dragon, increasing the challenge. A long-awaited costume change feature allows players to customize their appearance at the dressing room for 100,000 Meseta. The page also showcases fan art submissions in the art department, featuring works by various artists. Finally, the page encourages player feedback by providing contact information for submissions to the Ragukan and Dreamaga editorial department, highlighting the active community. This page is a report on the Death Train event in 2001, showcasing a large gathering of people across 5 locations in Japan: Shinbashi, Tokyo, Anraku Place, ZEP Tokyo, Shizuoka, Nagoya, and Osaka. The event, seemingly organized by Equal Software and its president Makoto, attracted many attendees. It appears to be a promotional event, possibly for a game, with the article focusing on the enthusiasm of the crowds and the presence of notable figures. The page mentions a game jam event held at ZEP Tokyo, occurring on the same day as the Death Train event. The report highlights the chaos and excitement at the Shinbashi SL Square location, and notes the presence of game creators, including Board Itagaki from Tecmo, known for announcing Dead or Alive 3 for Xbox at a game show. Ishimoto from Rental is also mentioned as attending. The article emphasizes the power and influence of President Makoto in bringing together these creators and fans. The Death Train event in Japan was a resounding success, drawing enthusiastic fans eager to meet the president. Attendees enjoyed autograph sessions and a Q&A where sequels were a popular topic. The event's lively atmosphere earned it the title of a quintessential DES event, possibly a game jam. A unique aspect was the direct sales of DES games, a pre-modern sales method that proved brisk. The event culminated in a group photo and cheers of Crimson. Game creators like Piro, Itagaki, and Ishimoto shared comments. Ishimoto from Studio Fake was also present. A notable, industry-surprising 3-shot photo featured Tecmo's Itagaki, NN, and the president. This page continues reporting on the Death Train event, diving into fan reactions and president's insights. Fans were eager to ask questions, especially about the character Musapi, and the possibility of Death 3, which we know as Death Crimson 3. The president addressed fan questions, hinting at potential future projects codenamed P and X. He also mentioned a music CD release for the Death game series, featuring music from the early titles up to Ox. There's a special review corner by Taicho focusing on Death Crimson OX. Taicho praises Death Crimson OX as a solid game and gives it a perfect score of 10 out of 10. The review also mentions a new mode being implemented in the game and teases new characters and story elements. Taicho is introduced as a Dreamcast cast reviewer who consistently covers the Crimson series in Dream Magazine. Finally, President Makoto reflects on the Death Train event, stating it exceeded expectations. He notes the event was tiring but rewarding, and thanks fans for their participation, looking forward to future projects, including Death Crimson titles. He also mentions the initial anxieties regarding event planning, which turned out to be unfounded due to the overwhelming positive response. This page presents a preview of Eldorado Gate Volume 5, specifically focusing on the Monster Hunter Sophie scenario, which is Chapter 12 of the overall series. The story centers around Sophie, who was supposed to be executed, but escapes prison with the help of a woman. To fulfill a promise to this woman, Sophie heads to the town of Ladna, a city known for its wealth and crime. The article highlights Sophie's background, mentioning she lost her parents young and lived with her sister, becoming a monster hunter by the age of 20, described as hard-boiled and using combative weapons. Screenshots show gameplay within the town and dialogue scenes. One screenshot is labeled Gomez vs. Sophie, suggesting a confrontation. Another section mentions Sophie encountering Catan in a different location, hinting at a potential partnership despite the demon's aura Catan possesses, raising questions about whether they will become allies. The game data section confirms the game is for Dreamcast, is an RPG, and lists a release date of June 6th, with a price of 2,800 yen. It also lists the game website, and notes that this is the 5th volume out of a total of 7 monthly installments in the Eldorado Gate series. The preview covers Eldorado Gate Volumes 3 and 4. Volume 3, City of Corpses, focuses on Bad, now possessed by the metronome weapon and rampaging after his sister's death. Gomez and others try to stop him in the City of Corpses, seeking answers at Taunus. Volume 4, Floating Continent Gumlandal, introduces Rado, a 17-year-old who fights enemies and rides Gumlandal using magic stones. Bad's role in this volume is also hinted at. The page also highlights Eldorado Gate's extras, including an art gallery with original illustrations, artwork by Yoshitaka Amano, and related merchandise. A CM event at gamer stores with DGI Share-It characters is announced, along with limited edition goods. The focus on Yoshitaka Amano's art, including Lias and the Sacred Knight, is also emphasized. The next page is a special feature from Dorimaga Magazine, revealing secret elements in Eldorado Gate Volume 4 for episodes 9, 10, and 11. It details 5 secrets, including hidden item locations in the Forgotten Land and World's Best Stage, where players can find valuable items like the Attack Charm and Bewitching Ring. The page also reveals the appearance of the water element in Episode 9 on the west side of Snail Coast, noting it's only available in the second playthrough onwards and requires strong attacks. Another secret is the usage of the old document obtained in the Forgotten Land in Episode 10, where solving riddles at the bombing merchant will reward the player with the Scarer Golem. An ice skating event at the Fairy Spring in Episode 11 is highlighted, featuring 3 fairies and unique items. Lastly, the barter event for obtaining the fortune item in Episode 9 is described, involving finding a drunk person, helping the bar owner, catching a Hikoko bird, and finally exchanging the grilled bird and old document at the town's bookstore to get fortune. This page continues the Eldorado Gate Volume 4 special feature, diving deeper into secrets and rare item hunting. It details card locations for episodes 9, 10, and 11, revealing where to find cards like the Heart card in the Textile Factory, Cleopatra card in the Egyptian's house, and Club card in Aran Village. The page emphasizes collecting cards, especially the Moon card accessory, obtained through a barter event after episode 11. The Rare Item Search Monster List section presents a monster list focusing on rare item drops. It highlights monsters like Raija, Django, Geshu, and Skyhunter, and their attributes with details of common, uncommon, and very rare item drops. For example, Raija, Water Element, drops Leaf, Poison, 10 as a common item, W Leaf 15 as an uncommon item, and Bewitching Ring as a rare item. Finally, recommended synthesis recipes are given, suggesting weapon and armor crafting combinations. Recipes like the Raging Hammer, combining Wolf Hammer and Rust Hammer, or Yamaneko and Grey Dog with Wolf Hammer, are shown. Another recipe for Meteor Chain, combining Obsidian Chain and Sky Armor, is mentioned, noting that Sky Armor is obtainable in episode 10 and can be combined with Prism Armor to create Obsidian Chain. The page suggests These are strong weapons and armor to aim for, by gathering monster drops and synthesizing. This weekly Gaburi Eldorado Gate fan page announces several updates and promotions for the game. Volume 23 is featured, with a staff voice interview detailing the scenario production for Volume 5, focusing on player enjoyment and exploration. Episode 14 is hinted to have a Western theme. The soul painting section highlights the increasing richness of characters, stories, and illustrations as the game progresses. Downloadable content includes items for Volume 7, such as platinum weapons and cherry blossom-themed attire, with a sale starting April 12th. Volume 8 also offers special weapon sales. Finally, a next-time download data week sale for Volume 9, the Golden Week sale, is scheduled to begin May 5th. Contact information for SoftBank Publishing and Dreamcast Editorial Department is provided. This page is a preview for Crazy Taxi 2, showcasing new courses for the game. It highlights the Around Apple course, which is based around New York, and emphasizes the Crazy Hop technique for expanded gameplay. Several new areas are detailed, including Park, described as a large park south of Central Park, with 3 routes and a botanical garden. Building Street features buildings on both sides of the road and tall skyscrapers. Grade Separation focuses on using Crazy Hop for shortcuts in areas with many overpasses, particularly around bridge entrances. Bridge highlights the 2 bridges in the map as shortcut opportunities. The game data section lists the developer as Sega/Hitmaker, a release date of May 31st, and a price of 5,800 yen, 300 points. The page is presented as a special Dramaga Scoop Report. It also mentions another new course called Small AP Ale, and that the article is based on an event ROM of Crazy Taxi 2 and reports on its controls. It states the game will be released in about a month, anticipating further crazy content. This page continues the preview of Crazy Taxi 2, introducing the Small Apple course as another new location. It highlights that this course is based on real buildings and locations, aiming for a different atmosphere compared to the previous game. Several key areas within Small Apple are detailed, including the Art Museum, the church, Central Terminal, the Clock Tower, Ferryport, and the bank, each with a brief description and screenshot. The page emphasizes that the key to mastering Small Apple is the Crazy Hop technique, suggesting it's crucial for efficient shortcuts. It also dedicates sections to Crazy Technique, Crazy Dash, and Crazy Backdash, explaining these gameplay mechanics with accompanying screenshots. These techniques were also present in the previous game, and the controls remain unchanged in Crazy Taxi 2. Crazy Dash is performed by pressing the D gear button and accelerating to boost, useful for picking up customers quickly. Crazy Backdash is an application of Crazy Dash, performed by shifting to R gear immediately after a Crazy Dash for a quick backwards dash, useful for emergency stops and tight turns. Crazy Taxi 2's preview highlights gameplay tips and new destinations in the Small Apple course. Earning bigger tips involves recklessly driving groups of up to 4 customers, with multipliers for skillful driving, but colliding with cars resets the bonus. The game features real-world brand destinations: Burger King, FAO Schwartz, Gap, HMV, and Hard Rock Cafe, each offering distinct customer opportunities. Other locations include the stadium, the opera house, the university, the band shell, and the karate dojo. Essential driving techniques are Crazy Drift, Crazy Back Drift for advanced players, and the new Crazy Hop, activated by the Y button for jumping. Jump height depends on speed. High speed yields high jumps, while low speed results in short jumps, requiring strategic acceleration before jumping. This page introduces Pia Carrot Koso 2.5, a simulation game where you work at the Pia Carrot family restaurant. Point 1 highlights the cute uniforms and a fun work environment, especially appealing for male players as it's described as a workplace full of girls. Point 2 mentions summer events like water gun fights and swimsuits, suggesting in-game events with these themes and the possibility of joining staff trips. Screenshots show anime girls in waitress uniforms, swimsuits, and yukata. The game data box confirms it's a simulation game scheduled for release in June by NEC Interchannel, priced at 7,200 yen. The introduction to Pia Carrot Koso 2.5 details the restaurant's job system, 7 roles are available, with assignments based on shift requests. Each role improves specific skills. Waiter and cashier enhance appearance, charm, presentation. Cashier also improves academics. Cooking preparation develops patience and physical condition. Dishwashing and cleaning primarily improve patience, with cleaning additionally boosting physical strength and kindness, gentleness. Stockroom organization, male only, improves patience and physical strength. The game also includes trouble response scenarios, like customer complaints. Successfully resolving these boosts your reputation. Skill levels are visually represented, encouraging players to try diverse roles to enhance various parameters. The next page focuses on a happening during a part-time job interview for the game, Pia Iukoso 2.5. It details an initial encounter where the protagonist accidentally bumps into a girl on his way to the interview and ends up groping her chest. She misinterprets this as perversion and becomes very angry, declaring she never wants to see his face again. However, in a twist of fate, it turns out this same girl is also a waitress at the Pia restaurant and is present at the interview waiting area. The manager, Ayako, finds it strange that they seem to know each other as they are introduced and makes self-introductions. Ayako is also revealed to be a part-time job applicant, highlighting the game's character connections. The story continues with the girl, Azusa, expressing her annoyance at meeting the protagonist again, even in the dormitory, as they become roommates, due to Ayako's suggestion that there is a vacant room. Azusa's greeting, though polite, is still sharp and unfriendly, indicating their strained relationship will continue. The page also mentions the consumer version original opening movie and the theme song, Go, Waitress, stating that the consumer version original heroine, Tomomi's uniform, is also featured. It also asks about the direct cause of the trouble, explaining that the protagonist was late for the meeting and his friend Makoto suggested they race to the store, leading to the accident with the girl as he rushed. This page continues the introduction to Pia Iukoso 2.5 and focuses on the protagonist's experiences. It describes a newcomer welcome party for the protagonist and Azusa, where, after drinking, the protagonist faces a barrage of questions. The night becomes a blur, and he wakes up the next morning with no memory of what happened, finding Azusa next to him. The text highlights this situation as being unexpected and exciting. The page then shifts to the protagonist's first day of his part-time job. He's nervous, as it's his first experience with part-time work. He is introduced to everyone, and the initial impression is that everyone is nice, especially a cheerful senior colleague. However, the problem is Azusa, and he hopes to get along with her. The page also introduces 3 characters. Haru Yamana, described as a kind and gentle mother figure who lives near Carrot and often brings her daughter Kaoru to the restaurant, offering a chance encounter. Mikiko Shinohara is a professional manga artist who works part-time while studying. She is passionate about manga and appears as a customer at the restaurant. Tsukasa Inomoto is described as a help staff member at the second branch only during busy summer periods. She works as a waitress at the main store, and her hobby is described as a life-work-like cosplay. This page introduces Advanced Daisen Ryaku 2001, a war simulation game available for Sega Dreamcast. The page highlights changes and additions to the system compared to previous titles. It details the game start procedure, noting that difficulty adjustments can be made right from the start of a campaign map, a feature accessible via the X button, which was previously a hidden command. The Turn Start comment section shows that comments are provided at the beginning of turns, offering advice. The map screen command section explains the various commands available by pressing the B button on the map screen, including operations, advice, chat, and mood, which are also accessible from the options screen. Battle section briefly touches on combat. The information/report section covers information displayed during gameplay, revealing details about enemy units and weapon development, adding to the game's depth. The advice section describes helpful messages that appear during gameplay. Chat section is described as providing turn start comments similar to the advice, but perhaps more casual. Finally, mood section talks about in-game events that reflect the day's happenings, adding a flavorful element, although it might be repetitive. The page is essentially a preview outlining the game's features and user interface elements for players familiar with the Daisen Ryaku series. This page continues the introduction to Advanced War Tactics 2001. Section IV highlights the Malaga Operation Scenario Map, emphasizing the fast enemy AI and smooth gameplay. It advises players to build a large fleet early on and to use air raids from the beginning. The game features commanders with straightforward personalities. Screenshots show in-game battles, unit information, and portraits of commanders from the Civil Public Army and Republic Army. Section V covers the Scenario Edit feature, allowing players to create custom maps and save them to visual memory. These maps can be used for battles against the computer, human players, and even online email battles. Existing scenarios can also be modified. The game provides options for map size selection and supports reading custom maps from GDROM. Section 6 details the Internet Connection function, where players can access the Advanced War Tactics 2001 homepage to find opponents for online play on Dreamcast. Players can recruit opponents and engage in email battles by exchanging save files. The game boasts over 100 commands. This page details 3 Imperial Japanese Navy warplanes: the Zero Fighter, the Type 99 carrier-based bomber, and the Type 97 No.3 carrier-based attack plane. Each entry includes weapon data specifications. The Zero Fighter is noted for its lightweight design, enabling exceptional agility and long range, although pilot safety was compromised. Captured Zeros revealed vulnerabilities, prompting U.S. countermeasures. The Type 99 carrier-based bomber, a diving bomber developed by Aichi Tokei Denki with Heinkel influence, demonstrated impressive bombing accuracy. The Type 97 No.3 carrier-based attack plane, designed by Nakajima Aircraft, employed advanced technology and performed well in early Pacific operations. The modern Subaru Corporation has its roots in Nakajima Aircraft. This page continues with military hardware, now focusing on tanks under the heading General Headquarters Bulletin. It details 4 types of tanks: the Type 1 medium tank Chihi, the Type 3 medium tank Chinu, and the Type 98 light tank Kenny, all providing weapon data specifications. The Type 1 Chihi was developed as an improved version of previous tanks. The Type 3 Chinu was designed as a counter to American tanks, and the Type 98 Kenny was intended to replace older light tanks, featuring increased speed. Also featured are 2 foreign tanks, the Cromwell and the T-34/85. The Cromwell is presented as a British tank with high speed, while the T-34/85 is a Soviet tank described with strong firepower and mobility. At the bottom is a readers section called Camera Comrade Square, where readers can submit photos. One submission mentions wanting to see Stalin soon, and includes a photo of a T-34/85 tank model, mentioning it as a pet and referring to it by the nickname Smo. The submission also references the Dreamcast Magazine issue number and a deadline of April 20th for submissions. This page announces the upcoming Dreamcast game Net Geeky Mahjong Fight, a collaboration between Capcom and Psikyo. This Mahjong title features all-star characters from both companies' games, including characters from Psikyo's Sengoku Ace, like Jane, Tengai, and Ginen, and Capcom's Tessa from Battle Circuit. The game is designed for online battles and includes a single-player group match mode and a gallery mode as rewards. It is scheduled for release on June 28th, priced at 5,800 yen, 300 points, and supports 12 players online. The page highlights the various expressions characters will display in response to gameplay actions during Mahjong matches. This page details the original Yan Fighter creation mode in Net Geeky Mahjong Fight, where players can create their own fighter. The game features a parts shop where players can use points earned in online battles to buy new parts and customize their characters extensively, including face, body type, and clothing. The page also highlights existing Capcom and Psikyo characters available, showcasing characters from Street Fighter II such as Fei Long, described as a movie star from Hong Kong who uses Kung Fu, Sagat, the Muay Thai Emperor and Ryu's rival from the original Street Fighter, Blanca, a wild man from Brazil, and Zangief, a wrestling champion from Russia. Rose from Street Fighter Zero is also mentioned as a fortune teller who uses soul power to fight against Vega. The page also mentions the gallery mode, where players can collect illustrations of defeated characters as a reward for winning Mahjong matches, and hints at more characters to be revealed. The text emphasizes that this is only half of the total content. The game is described as an online battle mahjong title, where players can play against each other online, with single-player options available. This page is all about Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, revealing some exciting news and details about the game. The big announcement is that despite initially being planned as a Dreamcast exclusive, an arcade version is also confirmed to be released in late May, which is great news for arcade fighting fans. The page then focuses on the Saikyo-style fighting techniques of Dan Hibiki. It notes that Dan's moves are mostly familiar, including projectiles, anti-airs, and rush attacks, covering the basics. However, the text suggests Dan's true power lies in his taunting abilities, mentioning the taunt legend is still present in this game. The page details a few of Dan's moves. His taunt legend super combo is described as simply unleashing a series of taunts, so powerful it might even scare Kyokusanagi. His special move, Gaduken, is a short-range projectile, useful for close-range combos despite its limited range. The mid-air Danku kick is a two-stage aerial kick that can also be performed on the ground, with the number of kicks changing based on the button pressed. Finally, another super combo, Rising Dragon Blaze, is a powered-up version of the Koryuken, delivering multiple Rising Dragon Fist attacks in a row. The page humorously emphasizes that Dan's true strength might just be his legendary taunts. The next page is titled, This is Pro Spec, for Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, highlighting what makes this version pro. It explains that the PRO title is due to significant changes beyond just adding new characters. Key improvements include 4 selectable turbo speed levels and adjustments to some characters' abilities to refine the game balance. One of the main changes is the introduction of 4 turbo speed settings. By selecting 4 in the option menu, players can experience speed reminiscent of Street Fighter II Turbo. The page details changes to specific characters' techniques. For Blanca EX, his vertical rolling is now exclusive to the EX version, emphasizing the difference from the normal version. Vega, M. Bison X, gains the spiral arrow move, offering new combat options compared to his normal version. Cammy EX is highlighted as gaining the Psycho Vanish special move, which can negate projectile attacks, making her more effective against projectile-heavy characters. The page then focuses on Joe Higashi, with the title, Call the Storm. Joe, known for his storm-calling moves, is described as a Muay Thai fighter with powerful kicks, excelling in both aerial and anti-air combat. His moves are showcased. The slash kick is a fast advancing kick for quick attacks. The hurricane upper involves kicks while spinning upwards, useful for wider attack range. The tiger kick is a powerful kick used as anti-air, and the screw upper is a rising knee attack for aerial combat, effective in close quarters. The next page announces Gun Survivor 2 Biohazard Code, Veronica, a joint project between Capcom and Namco for the arcade. This gun shooting game is based on Biohazard Code, Veronica, and is set on Rockford Island. The story follows Claire Redfield's escape from the island prison, with Steve also caught up in the events and cooperating. Players will navigate stages, find keys, and fight zombies and other creatures. The game is designed for 12 players and is a gun shooting game. It's highlighted that the original Gun Survivor was released on PlayStation, which was a survival gun shooting game using Namco gun controllers and featuring free movement and a first-person perspective. Gun Survivor 2 Biohazard Code, Veronica, is slated for a June release by Capcom and Namco. This page continues the announcement of Gun Survivor 2 Biohazard Code, Veronica, for arcades, emphasizing its free movement system, which sets it apart from typical fixed gun shooting games. Players can move freely and aim independently using a gun controller, offering an intuitive experience. The game also supports 2-player cooperative play, encouraging strategic teamwork against enemies. The page details the gameplay operation, showing the credit system, item collection, and hints at cooperative strategies. It also highlights a network ranking system where players can register their scores online via passwords for national leaderboards. The game promises horrifying creatures and confirms it is based on Code Veronica, but will feature characters from across the Biohazard series. Nemesis is specifically mentioned as a relentless pursuer. Steve Burnside is introduced as the 2P playable character, with a brief backstory aligning with his Code Veronica narrative. Finally, a message from Capcom expresses their excitement to bring the Biohazard series to arcades in collaboration with Namco,
emphasizing the deep connection to Code Veronica and promising more details soon. This page is an advertisement for 3 strategy guides for the Dreamcast game J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, also known as Saskatsuku. The first guide is the Player Directory, highlighted as the ultimate database book. It boasts data on 5,028 players, 324 coaches, and 452 scouts, with systematically organized abilities. It aims to help players find talented recruits and fully understand club stats and training comments. It is priced at 2,800 yen plus tax and is 896 pages long. The second guide is the Strategy X Fanbook, described as strategy content at 200%. It promises in-depth tactics, selected player data, and the latest real soccer analysis. It also includes internet, GameSpot, survey results, and passionate Sakatsuku content. It is priced at 1,600 yen plus tax and is 304 pages long. Other flakes. The third guide is the complete guide, focusing on management, training, team strategy, and personnel. It offers detailed analysis of 4 key elements for club management, explaining important points of player development, and tips for team compatibility and match strategy. It is priced at 1,800 yen plus tax and is 480 pages long. Dreamcast Hiroba features reader contributions. Uyama Daizo reminisces about the Dreamcast's impact. Sawai Izumi discusses playing Sakura Wars 3 with friends. The Suddenly But section includes humorous observations and emotional declarations of love for the Dreamcast. One reader purchased a Dreamcast and Phantasy Star Online after being influenced by a friend. The page includes a game correction information box. The issue also hides its main title, teasing readers to find it on page 8. Dreamcast Weekly highlights events from April 27th to May 10th, including holidays and game-related events. Lastly, Phantasy Star Online receives praise for winning the 5th Japan Game Awards, celebrating its broad appeal and community-building capabilities. The next page presents the Dream Magazine Art Class section, displaying reader-submitted illustrations for the Golden Week holidays. These artworks feature characters from various Dreamcast games, including Sonic Adventure 2, Phantasy Star Online, and Eve Zero, along with a possible Perfect World Over reference. Each piece includes the artist's region and name, plus a brief comment about the artwork itself. Below the artwork is a section titled Dream Magazine Recommended Movies that highlights and summarizes the films The Skulls and The Diver. Lastly, a Dreamcast movie ranking table is shown, listing popular films such as Hannibal, Battle Royale, Special Edition, The Cell, Meet the Parents, Snatch, Castaway, 102 Dalmatians, and Proof of Life, among others. The Dream Magazine Art Class showcases fan art featuring various illustrations. Highlights include Akira's Sakura Wars 3 Nights, Erika's cute cat-like pose, Hikaru's energetic Erika artwork, a zombie character with detailed origami, Lilith the vampire and bunny girl attire, and a lively group of schoolgirls. Hayama Hiroshi's Deep Factory Volume 27 discusses departures and encounters in spring, reflecting on personal growth and the concept of living earnestly. He connects this philosophy to his writing and reader interactions, especially in a world he sees as lacking love. Bonus content advertises the Super Robot Tyson Alpha Gaiden CD release. An information box promotes Hayama Hiroshi's album Tomorrow Will Be Sunny, and Character Ani Radio Station, an internet radio program offering talk shows, game/anime content, and downloadable MP3s. This magazine page features reader feedback, game discussions, and a Dreamcast sales chart. Reader sections include fan comments, humorous submissions about common phrases, and assistance identifying forgotten games, such as a Space Panic game on the Casio PV-1000. Readers also seek strategy tips for Final Fight, focusing on combos, and ask about a game utilizing button mashing for aerial attacks. Columns cover random thoughts, abbreviation questions, and a discussion on Sega's potential bankruptcy. Novelizations of Dreamcast games like Phantasy Star Online are promoted. The sales chart ranks top-selling Dreamcast games, including Valkyrie Profile, Lenneth, Phantasy Star Online Complete Setting Material Collection, and several strategy guides. This page is packed with reader contributions and game discussions. The Peunsnet Game Go section highlights Dreamcast online gaming experiences, with one player lamenting item loss in Phantasy Star Online after over 40 disconnects, despite enjoying the game. Another reader asks about shortening toilet breaks during gaming sessions. There's also a humorous comment about face muscle pain from grinning while playing RPGs with the KAZ Maru character style. Ume and Tetsu's Obscured Word Research Lab presents reader rankings of game characters, like Izagomen and Ideon, with voting counts beside each name, in categories that are obscured text for humorous effect. They announce a new segment called Game Diffusion, where game titles are combined to make funny phrases, suggesting examples like, Over My Dead Body, and Let's Play Professional Baseball Team. The Noriyuki Iwadare World Music Paradise section features a profile of the game music composer Noriyuki Iwadare. He discusses his work, including composing for the Grandia series, Lunar, and Langrisser, noting requests for tense music to create a sense of impending danger in games, drawing a parallel to the Jaws theme. He also mentions his musical influences from classical composers like Haydn and the impact of the big orchestra sound. He promotes his Best of Grandia CDs available via mail order and online. Reader illustrations of game characters Isagoman, Bekimon, Indoman, and Ikaten are showcased at the bottom of the page. This page combines reader-submitted content with new music release information. Content includes humorous takes on games, a Sonic parody illustration, reader complaints about Canon, a Dreamcast game, and Virtua Fighter 4, criticizing visuals and complexity. There are also Heavy Hardline Project Shoko Corner, a manga panel area, and Hot Love Cafe, a fan submission section referencing Dreamcast Express. The page concludes with a CD guide highlighting new releases, albums from Fukuyama Masaharu, Koko, Ishino Takyu, and Suzu, a single from CHAGE and ASKA, and a remix single from Ripple Time's Sister. This mix of reader engagement and music provides a dynamic experience for the Dreamcast audience. This page features a collection of reader submissions and humorous content related to Dreamcast. The Dream Man section seems to highlight reader-submitted jokes or stories. There are several comic strips with titles like Returning Man, First Errand, Body is Honest, and Reason Why Underground Matches Are Wet, which appear to be short, humorous scenarios possibly related to gaming experiences. Reader comments are also featured from different prefectures. One from Kanagawa talks about returning to Dreamcast games in Hong Kong, while another from Chiba mentions enjoyable war car games. Saitama's comment discusses the cold weather and playing Dreamcast, and Tokyo's comment is about being absorbed in Dreamcast games. The page also includes sections titled Formal Mail and a comic strip area called Strongest Warrior. The Hyogo Prefecture section, titled This Is Ending Correctly, announces the end of Dreamcast Hiroba in the magazine, but notes that the spirit will continue in a new corner. It encourages readers to participate in the new Reader Corner, pointing to page 88. Omi's Information OMI in Wonderland seems to be a personal column or advice section with a photo of a woman, discussing topics like feeling warmer and mentioning reflexology and aesthetic salons, and also touching on work and game-related subjects. Dog Lovey Diary is another short column, potentially about pets or a character diary. Dreamcast Magazine is recruiting for several reader-submitted content corners. Real Photo Sega Gaga seeks passionate Sega/Dreamcast messages. Bombardment Rocks Dream Vision wants dream stories. Hager's Request offers a Q&A with Capcom's PR. Find That Game helps readers identify forgotten games. Dream Doryu addresses submission questions. Sega Ichi Manga Dojo continues a manga competition and seeks design submissions for Dreamcast goods. Bayon's Net Game Go focuses on online gaming experiences. Game character Indiscriminate Rameko wants humorous postcards about game characters. Game Diffusion asks for creative game title mashups. Continue. And Next Is This comes cover trending topics. New corner start. Zukizuki Sega Kara focuses on karaoke song requests with an emphasis on Sega-related music. Readers earn points for submissions, redeemable for prizes. Guidelines include postcard submissions, black ink, and contact information. Illustrations can be emailed. This page features the Burning Publicist Fumio Kurokawa column titled Neo Black, Bill Gates's Sense of Crisis. Kurokawa reflects on the unexpected longevity of his column in Dreamcast Magazine and expresses his continued enthusiasm to work with individuals within the game industry. He describes his demanding work routine, filled with meetings and communication. He recounts Bill Gates's keynote speech at a recent Tokyo Game Show event,
noting the enthusiastic audience reception, but contrasting it with a perceived underlying uncertainty or quietness on the show floor itself. Kurokawa contemplates the significance of localizing game software for the Japanese market, questioning the receptiveness of Japanese marketing to foreign games, and considering Microsoft's potential success in Japan alongside the ability to create compelling software tailored for the region. He highlights Bill Gates' perceived sense of crisis and his relentless entrepreneurial spirit. Additionally, the page includes Game Industry This Week's News Headlines, which briefly mentions several key industry updates. These include the successful launch of Pokémon and its positive impact on profits, game company Broccoli's expansion into the North American market, significant pronouncements from Nintendo President Yamauchi, funding secured for a Linux-based game machine venture, Tecmo's downward revision of their earnings forecast, and Hudson Soft's first voluntary retirement program recruitment initiative. This page provides information on the anime movie Escaflowne, detailing its video and DVD release on April 25th, including prices, special editions, and DTS audio. The page highlights key staff, the voice casts, and features a story summary about Hitomi's journey to Gaia and her encounters with Van, Alan, and Maruru, centered around a dragon's power and the fate of Gaia. Character profiles are also provided. The page also announces the official Escaflowne website hosted by Sunrise, offering production details, interviews, merchandise information, and trailers. Additionally, it includes announcements for the official websites of New Snow White Legend Pre-Tier and The Soul Taker Soul Hunter, both featuring weekly broadcasts on WOWOW, background information, and trailers, with website URLs provided. This page showcases a variety of anime releases available on video and DVD. First up is Vandred Volume 3, an anime about space pirates and robots, highlighting the character design and digital animation. Next is Jinky, Extend Hyo Senki Skill 5, a robot anime with a focus on battles and set in near-future Tokyo. Then there's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Adventure 4, Emperor and Hanging Man, the fourth installment of the popular series, emphasizing the adventure and unique characters. Following this is Number 1, an adult-oriented anime set in a post-nuclear war world, featuring themes of combat and beautiful female warriors. Artificial Human Hokkaider The Animation Volume .5 is advertised next, a robot action anime with story and character focus. Ginstu Kiko Ordian ACT.10 is also featured, another robot anime with emphasis on action and plot development in its 10th installment. Gatekeepers Volume 8, advertised as the final volume, is highlighted as a science fiction anime with a dramatic storyline reaching its conclusion. Doki Doki Legend Mahujin Guru Guru Volume 10 is presented as an adventure anime series, continuing its magical journey. Sister-in-Law, The Fruit of Two People First Night, Stained Madonna, is advertised as an adult OVA series focusing on romance and family themes. Finally, there are announcements for TV anime broadcasts. Alien 9, an OVA series being broadcast on ATX about elementary school girls encountering aliens, and Giant Robo 17, a classic giant robot anime from 1977, airing on Family Geekijo channel, telling the story of a giant robot fighting for humanity. This page is a 4-panel comic strip titled Something Yoshimatsu Theater, Goodbye Dreamcast Magazine. It is a humorous farewell to Dreamcast Magazine, with characters expressing gratitude and saying goodbye to the publication. The comic strip also announces that the author's new weekly series called Game Senya Ichiya will start in Weekly Playboy magazine from the May 15th issue. 15. This new series will be a 4-panel manga focused on games, and will be located in the Game no Mizuchi section of Weekly Playboy. The comic assures readers that despite the end of the Dreamcast Magazine series, the author's manga will continue in Weekly Playboy. This page is the final episode of the Iro Desuku bi-weekly column, number 56, titled One Day's Final Episode. The comic strip humorously deals with the end of the column within Dreamcast Magazine, with characters reflecting on its 2-year run. They discuss the concept of a final episode and share an anecdote about a past manga series, where the editor-in-chief suggested changing all instances of final episode dialogue to take a break, which seems to have caused some confusion. Despite the farewell, the comic teases the next issue being a Hello Dreamcast special, or Dorima special, hinting at more content to come. This page is an interview with Tomoro Taguchi, described as an actor and musician, focusing on his narration work for the TV program Project X, Challengers. The interview delves into his background, starting as a vocalist in a punk band, and his entry into acting and narration. He mentions initially being hesitant about narration, but Project X became a turning point, allowing him to express a different side of himself. The program highlights stories of ordinary people achieving success, which resonates with Taguchi. He notes the emotional impact of the show and how it made him realize his own vulnerability.
Taguchi's voice is considered a key element in conveying the drama of Project X. The interview also mentions his earlier film role in Tetsuo the Iron Man, a cyberpunk film which brought him into the public eye in 1989. The profile section at the bottom provides biographical details about Taguchi, born in Tokyo in 1957, mentioning his work as a manga artist, writer, and illustrator before his acting career. It also notes his band Bachi Kaburi, formed in 1984, and his recent activities as Brown Sons with Miraim Jun. Project X airs weekly on NHK General TV on Tuesdays from 9:15 p.m. to 10 p.m. This page is advertising strategy guides for 2 games. Ultimate Fighting Championship for Dreamcast and PlayStation is featured with a guide promising complete character strategy and techniques. It highlights features like fighter data, move lists, fighter styles, and secret fighter unlocks. The second guide advertised is for Fire Pro Wrestling D, the complete for Dreamcast, and boasts complete wrestler data, move lists, and hidden parts information for over 220 wrestlers. It emphasizes system explanations for beginners and extra content, such as move lists and wrestler edit notes. This page shows an example of a reader survey form from Dreamcast Magazine. It explains how to fill it out correctly using numerical answers and provides examples of good and bad answer styles. The survey itself covers various reader preferences, including demographics like gender, age, school/occupation, favorite magazines, and opinions on the current magazine issue's cover. The survey also dives into Dreamcast ownership and game preferences, asking about Dreamcast hardware and software ownership, satisfaction with the magazine's Dreamcast coverage, and favorite articles in the current issue. Readers are asked about hardware they plan to buy and favorite Dreamcast software from a provided list. The page also presents 3 lists. Table 2, Hard List, which lists Dreamcast hardware and accessories such as the Dreamcast console itself, visual memory unit, arcade stick, controller, mouse, keyboard, various joysticks and controllers, broadband adapter, zip drive, Super Famicom adapter, and even a Dreamcast karaoke set. Table 3. Dreamcast Soft List offers a massive list of Dreamcast games across many genres. Table 1. Articles in this issue details the contents of the current magazine issue, with articles ranging from game news and software schedules to reviews, special features, columns, and reader contributions. Some highlighted articles include features on Shenmue 2, AR, Sonic Adventure 2, and various columns covering game development and culture. This page is an advertisement for the PlayStation 2 Strategy Guide magazine. It highlights its comprehensive strategy for Gran Turismo 3 Aspect and features on Capcom games like Resident Evil and Onimusha. The magazine also covers Doki Doki Toy World. Additionally, it promotes a range of SoftBank strategy guides, including those for Dreamcast games such as Saskatsuku Special Edition Player Directory, Kanon, Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, Illbleed, Canvas Sepia-Colored Motif, Angel Presents, and Harusame Yobi, with setting materials for favorite Dear Junpaku no Yogensha also available. This page showcases Kagetsu Seibo, the Virgin of Megiddo, an adventure game for the Dreamcast. It highlights the work of popular illustrator Mamoru Yokota, stating that the game features impactful female characters that fans of Yokota's previous works will appreciate. The game is described as featuring a brand new event scene. Character profiles are presented, including Mizuki Akimura, a 17-year-old with blood type A, born on April 16th, voiced by Miki Nagasawa, described as bright and popular but hiding worries. Another character is Remi Kanzaki, a 26-year-old with blood type AB, born on October 1st, voiced by Mika Fukami, introduced as a magazine reporter from a science journal, seeking cutting-edge scientific reporting opportunities in Izanami City, and investigating strange occurrences. Lastly, Tomoe Karyuin, a 15-year-old with blood type O, born on February 18th, voiced by Yukari Tamura, is depicted as the daughter of the prestigious Karyuin family, known for her refined nature, but striving for independence from her parents. The game is set to be released in June by Studio Line, and the genre is adventure. This page continues the introduction to Kagetsu Seibo, the Virgin of Megiddo. It presents 3 more character profiles. Kitagawa Manase, a cool and collected 16-year-old system administrator at Seiju High School. Moriguchi Shino, a cheerful and bright 15-year-old who acts as the mood maker. And Mikano Kyoko, a boyish and strong-minded 16-year-old. The storyboard section elaborates on the game's story. It introduces Kenji, a high school student working at a detective agency who is sent to the experimental city of Izanami City and Seiju High School by his boss. Initially hesitant about the vague job, Kenji decides to accept when he learns that his middle school classmate, Akimura Mizuki, is at Seiju High School. The story hints at Kenji facing a series of mysterious incidents in Izanami City. A screenshot shows a scene from the game with dialogue between Kenji and Mizuki, revealing that Mizuki is surprised to see Kenji there. The text hints at a larger mystery involving human combustion and the city's OS going berserk, asking about Kenji's fate as he gets caught up in these incidents. This page focuses on Kagetsu Seibo, the Virgin of Megiddo, an adventure game where your partner influences the story. The page details the game's immersive city map and 3D fields, allowing players to explore from various viewpoints to uncover the truth of events in Izanami City. Character profiles are introduced. Yumi Tsujimoto, a 23-year-old modern language teacher at the protagonist's school, depicted as a kind teacher always watching over the protagonist. Marie Magdalene Sarah is also profiled, a 17-year-old nun working at a church within the school, described as a mysterious and beautiful girl. The game uses a map-based movement system for city exploration, transitioning to real-time 3D fields within facilities for closer investigations. It is mentioned that time-based events occur within facilities, adding another layer to the gameplay. Screenshots illustrate menu options like Search the Floor, Search the Desk, and Search the Shelves within these facility environments. Further character introductions include Iwao Kagami, the president of the detective agency employing the protagonist, portrayed as a shrewd and capable detective. Kento Rando, the protagonist, is described as usually laid back but sharp and insightful when it comes to cases. Shiro Miyokin, the curator of the Izanami City Local History Museum, is presented as conducting his own investigations into recent incidents. This page is a special interview with voice actress Chiba Sayeko about her role as Kyoko Mikana in Kagetsu Seibo, the Virgin of Megiddo. Chiba Sayeko describes Kyoko as energetic and sometimes selfish, but honest and appealing. She mentions recording lines where Kyoko is being chased and struggling, which was particularly memorable and fun for her. She also talks about how Kyoko, despite being just a girl, is very charming. The page also features character profiles for other characters in Kagetsu Seibo, the Virgin of Megiddo. These include Nakadai Ryo, a student council executive known for his reliability and connection to the wealthy Karyuan family, and various other characters with roles in law enforcement, education, and the underworld of Izanami City, such as detectives, police officers, and even a priest. The character descriptions hint at the complex relationships and factions within the game's setting. This page reports on the Game Jam event in ZEP Tokyo on April 14th and 15th, a fan gathering for Sakura Wars focusing on Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning? It highlights that this was the first event after the game's release. The page mentions long queues to enter the venue, indicating high popularity. The event featured a talk show with special guests, described as being like a drawing room atmosphere, and a Dreamcast strategy final. Cosplayers dressed as Sakura Wars 3 characters also gathered. The page includes interviews with the voice actresses for Erika Fontaine, Hidaka Noriko, Glycine Bloomer, Shimazu Saeko, and Kokeliko, Kobori Satomi. Hidaka Noriko shares her thoughts on Erika's appealing personality, mentioning her kindness and how she relates to the character. Shimazu Saeko discusses how she approaches her role as Glycine, noting the importance of understanding the character and enjoying her work. Kobori Satomi expresses her joy at portraying Kokeliko and connecting with fans, mentioning her preference for staying home and receiving thoughtful presents. The article describes the event as full of laughter and interesting information, including behind-the-scenes stories from voice recording and game production, as well as spoiler-filled discussions. It also mentions fan service from Hidaka Noriko at the event's conclusion. This page is the final contents page for the Sakura Wars 3 special in Dreamcast Magazine. It highlights several sections, including a Dreamcast strategy for Sakura Wars 3 focusing on the Paris holiday episode and first dates, a special interview with Akahori Satoru delving into the game's scenario. There are also features on Sakura Wars merchandise, the Imperial Capital News, and Steam Workshop articles. A section titled Nostalgic Face discusses Ogami Ichiro's unexpected visit to Paris to meet the protagonist. The page also advertises a 24-page special feature on the stage event, revisiting topics and quotes from voice actresses playing Roberia, Kitaoji Hanabi, Miyamiya Sakura, and Maria Tachibana, confirming this is a special feature for Dreamcast Magazine readers covering the event. The voice actresses' quotes reflect on their characters and experiences during the stage event. The page promises a fast, super dense strategy within its content. This page continues the Sakura Wars 3 strategy guide, focusing on the Paris holiday episode and special holiday events. It highlights a section titled Grandma's Present, Special Holiday to Spend, centered around the Paris holiday and the Shade of Trees scenario for the 6th episode. The page details 2 key scenes: the Chat Noir renovation outbreak incident, where Grandma unexpectedly declares Chat Noir will be closed for renovation, preventing the protagonist from visiting, and the lobby scene, where Jean suggests a trip to the horse races. Both scenarios present dialogue choices affecting character relationships, with options linked to Erika, Glycine, Coquelicot, Roberia, and Hanabi. The page poses the question, how will you spend your special holiday? Is the great god's prediction? Implying player decisions will shape the holiday events and character interactions. Screenshots illustrate dialogue scenes and character expressions, further guiding the player through these key moments in Sakura Wars 3. Paris wa Moiteru. Sakura Wars 3 is Paris burning. This page continues the Sakura Wars 3 is Paris burning strategy guide, focusing on episode 6 and Paris sightseeing. Scene 2, set in a cafe, depicts a refreshing morning scene where you encounter Commander Kayama, an old friend, and dialogue choices here will impact your relationships with the characters. Scene 3, before Chat Noir, shows you meeting Glycine and Hanabi outside Chat Noir as you're tasked with guiding Kayama around Montmartre. Again, dialogue choices are presented as Roberia eavesdrops. Scene 4 covers Montmartre sightseeing, noting that Chat Noir is closed for renovations, but Shay will guide you inside, allowing you to buy bromides and play a minigame, although free movement is limited. The page includes a free movement event chart detailing locations and times for events across Montmartre locations such as Chat Noir, the Flower Shop, Café, Erika's Room, and more, all happening between 12 o'clock and 12:55. The objective is to guide Kayama in Paris, concluding by 1300, or by choosing to help with work at Chat Noir. It's also mentioned that the Kinematron is unavailable when accompanied by Kayama, and there are notes on Flower Troop Continuous Event 1 in Hanabi's room, and a shower event at the end of the Chat Noir tour. This page continues the Sakura Wars 3 is Paris burning guide, detailing episode 6 events in different Paris locations. Event 1 is set in the restaurant during 12:0012:25, where Kayama enjoys the atmosphere. Glycine and the Flower Troop are planning to go shopping for incense. Kayama mentions exploring the city, and dialogue choices affect character relationships. Event 2 takes place in the library after Event 1, around 2512 to 45. Glycine is contemplating a birthday gift for Hanabi, considering accessories or cake, and asks for advice. Dialogue options revolve around gift ideas. Event 3 occurs in the market, from 12:0012:25, where Erika is buying lunch ingredients for a picnic with Coquelicot at the amusement park. She wonders about sandwich fillings, and you get to choose. Event 4 is at the circus, starting after Event 3 finishes, around 12:35. Coquelicot is performing at Cirque de Euro, but needs a costume replacement as hers is damaged. Knife throwing, Kayama's specialty, is mentioned. Dialogue choices are related to knife throwing. Event 5 happens at Del Total Plaza, timed variably around 12:25, triggered by a strong force encounter. Kayama runs into Roberia, who has stolen his wallet but returns it. There's a dialogue choice to stop Roberia. Event 6 is located at the Market or Blue Mail front gate, triggered after catching Roberia in Event 5. If Roberia wasn't caught at Del Total Plaza, this event is initiated to apprehend her. Dialogue here is about catching Roberia. Episode 6 of the Sakura Wars 3 walkthrough details several events. In the Flower of the Fireplace room, 12:30–12 to 55, events with Hanabi involve calligraphy practice and memories of Glycine. At Del Total Plaza, 12:30–12 to 55, Hanabi considers a portrait for her parents. At the circus, 1240-12 to 55. Erika asks Kayama to watch over Coquelicot. In Glycine's room, 1230-12 to 55. Glycine selects incense for Hanabi. Afterward, meeting Hanabi and Coquelicot decreases trust, while meeting Erika and Roberia increases trust. Finally, at the bar, 1240-12 to 55, Roberia tries to steal Kayama's wallet, and he can choose to apprehend her. The next page details the walkthrough for Episode 6 of Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, titled Paris Observation and Shano Wool Sightseeing Tour. It outlines several events with specific times and locations, each featuring lips, live and interactive picture system, choices that affect character relationships. First, at the waterfront bridge, Event 13 involves Erika questioning Ogami about the Chanmage hairstyle, with choices impacting her dialogue. In the church, Event 14, energetic Erika is observed by Ogami and Helene, and Ogami's response influences Leno's trust. At the police station for Event 15, Ogami brings Kayama, and Roberia attempts to give Kayama a souvenir watch, presenting lips dialogue options. The park hosts Event 16, where Ogami meets Grama, who is searching for Soejima, and dialogue choices are available. At the Japanese embassy for Event 17, Grama continues her search for Soejima with Ogami, and lips choices influence Grama's trust. Finally, at the Blue Mail Mansion entrance, Event 18 shows Ogami and Kayama encountering Tabalab, who scolds Kayama, offering lips options for Ogami to mediate. The walkthrough highlights how previous answers about Chanmage in Episode 1 affect Erika's reactions in these events. This page continues, the Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, Episode 6 walkthrough, focusing on the Shano Wool Thorough Strategy section. It details the Shano Wool Tour, starting with Event 19, which presents a series of location-based events within Shano Wool between 12 o'clock and 12:55. These include visiting the shop, secret room, and another secret room, each triggered by clicking on Mel and C's speech bubbles and offering lips choices. The walkthrough then covers the tour end option, followed by what to do after this, and finally, go to shower room, each leading to different locations like the lobby, shower room, or stage depending on player choice. Event 20, Shano Wool Front, starts at 1300 and involves Kayama asking Ogami about Japan and the Flower Division members' current situation, again presenting lips choices. The next page in the Dreamcast Magazine, Sakura Wars 3 Strategy Guide, details how to secure a date with one of the Flower Division members for Episode 6. This section, titled, Let's Date a Team Member Tomorrow. Who will Ogami invite? Quote, focuses on initiating evening communications with Erika, Glycine, Coquelicot, Lobelia, and Hanabi to ask them out. For Erika, contacting her via Kinematron reveals she's troubled, and choosing dialogue options focusing on asking her for a date can lead to either a morning or afternoon date. Glycine, contacted at night, is in a bad mood apparently due to arguing with Laura. Dialogue choices here also determine if a morning or afternoon date with Glycine is secured. Coquelicot answers the Kinematron with sleepy eyes, appearing tired from a trip to the amusement park. Again, dialogue choices when asking her out determine a morning or afternoon date. Lobelia, described as a night woman, is just heading out when contacted, but readily accepts a date depending on dialogue choices, leading to a morning or afternoon date. Finally, communicating with Hanabi at night reveals her to be overly embarrassed, and selecting dialogue options where you express wanting to invite her out will result in either a morning or afternoon date with her. The page concludes by advising the player to save their game at this point. The strategy guide for Sakura Wars 3's Scene 5 focuses on morning dates with Erika, Glycine, and Coquelicot. The guide details how player choices during the evening communication phase influence these morning dates and whether an afternoon date is secured. Erika's date involves a potential afternoon extension through correct dialogue choices, illustrated by a scene where Ogami catches her after a trip. Glycine's date features horseback riding, a rabbit encounter, and Ogami saving her, with afternoon date opportunities tied to specific dialogue options. Coquelicot's date revolves around cooking, a monkey stealing vegetables, and a comedic chase, also offering an afternoon date if the right choices are made. Each scenario utilizes the lips gauge, showcasing how player dialogue impacts relationships and date outcomes. The next page continues,
The Sakura Wars 3 Strategy Guide, focusing on Lobelia's red wine cheating and romance in Scarlet Fireworks. This part of the guide details choices during a casino scene with Lobelia and a fireworks display scene with Hanabi. For Lobelia, it involves dialogue options around drinking red wine and her possible cheating. For Hanabi, it's about conversation choices during the fireworks event. The guide uses the lip system to show how reactions from Erika, Glycine, Kokuriko, Lobelia, and Hanabi are affected by player choices. The page also introduces Scene 6, Before the Whirlwind Gate. Huge demon reaction, rush immediately. This section covers a sudden emergency during what was supposed to be a date, triggered by a demon attack in the area of the Champs-Élysées, which throws Paris into a crisis. The scene shows the Imperial Combat Review preparing for an urgent sortie to combat this new threat. The goal is to deal with the demon attack in the Champs-Élysées area. The Sakura Wars 3 guide details combat in the Champs-Élysées, starting with a crisis scene. Scene 8 focuses on a battle against whirlwind gates and enemy units. Players are advised to use map holes to evade attacks, particularly from heavy lance enemies with long-range attacks. Key enemies include 2 heavy lances and orange pawns with wide-range attacks. The goal is to destroy the whirlwind gates. Unit deployment changes based on relationship trust levels and date choices. A date during the afternoon places the partner on the right rear, morning on the left rear. Other members are positioned according to trust. Victory requires defeating all enemies, including the heavy lances. Reinforcements arrive, including more heavy lances and pawn-type units. Initial deployment and enemy placement are influenced by date choices, timing, and trust levels. The Sakura Wars 3 guide details combat events in Episode 6, specifically focusing on daytime dates. These dates trigger LIPS events where chosen squad members become stronger in battle. Events occur automatically on turn 2, morning, or 4, afternoon. Character-specific events are highlighted. Erika's involves a lonely boy. Glycine's focuses on teamwork with rabbits. Kokuriko's revolves around Ugami's cooking and a missing meal. Roberia's takes place in a casino, and Hanabi's at a movie theater. Lips choices vary with each character's situation. The guide then shifts to Scene 9, describing the Flower Division's initial battle against new powerful pawns, Orange and Heburin, at the Triumphal Arch. The enemy, Carmel, demonstrates overwhelming strength, leading to a devastating defeat for the Flower Division, emphasizing their despair. This page is a strategy guide for Sakura Wars 3. Is Paris Burning? Quote, continuing the coverage into Episode 7. It highlights the preview movie for Episode 7, titled Hope's Light is from the East, and explores the meaning behind this title, explaining it refers to the sunrise and the idea of hope coming from the east. The preview shows the Paris Flower Division facing overwhelming defeat against Carmel, with Ogami watching this from afar in his battle uniform. He is quoted saying he will deliver the light of hope. The guide suggests Ogami is aware of what the Paris Flower Division is lacking. There is also a section dedicated to Sakura Wars 2 for newcomers, focusing on Sakura Shinguji. It notes that in the Episode 7 preview, Sakura's voice is heard saying, "It's been a while, Mr. Ogami," questioning if this is a dream. It explains Sakura's role as part of the Imperial Flower Division in Tokyo, protecting the capital while Ogami is in Paris. The text reminds readers about the Imperial Flower Division, part of the Imperial Review, led by General Commander Yoneda, and its role as a secret defense force using Kubu mecha and spiritual power. Finally, the page teases a plot point. Sakura appears under the cherry blossoms in Paris, hinting at Sakura's potential arrival in Paris under a full-bloom cherry tree. The next issue of the magazine will cover episodes 7 through 9. This page introduces the A Day in Paris mode in Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, which allows players to revisit previously seen movies, images, and minigames. It's suggested for those who might have missed content or want to review the story. This mode can be accessed from the game menu after Episode 2 by selecting Previous Story, then A Day in Paris, letting players easily catch up or re-experience moments. The page also details the Material mode to check game completion. This feature, accessible in the library and Turtle Square, is more than just bonus content. It's a practical resource. The library houses visual collections, showcasing illustrations and event scenes including Ogami. Turtle Square contains movie collections, especially focusing on Memories with Mel, allowing players to relive scenes and sortie moments. Players can rewatch movies like Erika's Tango with Black Cat, and even the ending movie, provided they have already been viewed during gameplay. letting them track their progress and enjoy favorite scenes again. This guide outlines mini-games in Sakura Wars 3 up to Episode 6. Players can enjoy Person of Footsteps, chess puzzle with glycine, Stones and Obstacles on the Road, stone collecting, Crazy Rally, badminton with Coquelicot, and Mirror of Tomorrow, pathfinding with Lobelia. Monk Clothes and Machine Gun with Erica involves avoiding machine gun fire. Place Where Arrows Hit with Hanabi is available after Episode 6, involving target shooting. The guide also covers the Kinematron network, allowing internet access for bulletin boards and online content. Finally, it highlights Drama Download, where players can download additional scenarios and events for the game, adding to the original gameplay experience. This page is the fourth part of a special feature on Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, focusing on scenario secrets. It features an interview with Akahori Satoru, the scenario writer for the Sakura Wars series. The interview discusses the challenges of creating the scenario for Sakura Wars 3, particularly the shift from Tokyo to Paris and the introduction of new characters. The page highlights the creation of Erica, detailing her design and personality. There are sections about new characters and new story elements in Sakura Wars 3, showing screenshots and character art. The page also mentions that the scenario writing for Sakura Wars 3 was completed relatively quickly, and discusses the release date and development timeline. A section titled Erica Birth Secret Story Making of Erica dives into Erica's character creation and design process. Akahori Satoru discusses the scenario secrets of Sakura Wars 3, revealing the game's setting in Paris stemmed from a desire to portray Japanese people in a positive light to foreigners. He faced initial resistance but championed the shift. His goal was to balance the new setting and characters with the core Sakura Wars charm, emphasizing comedic elements to avoid excessive seriousness. Akahori highlights the challenges of writing scenarios, citing the workload and complexity, especially with more characters interacting. While Sakura Wars 2 involved 2 characters and scenes, Sakura Wars 3 increased this to 6, dramatically increasing the work. He further mentions the scenario writing took 6 months to a year, including planning. He credits Red Company and Overworks for handling the branching and events, while he focused on core adventure and cinematic scenes. Sakura Wars 3's scenario writer Akahori approached the game with a TV anime sensibility, structuring each episode with a complete story and cliffhangers. He aimed for a large cast of female characters, and evolved the villains from simplistic destroyers into figures of human weakness. Balancing comedy and seriousness was important, and a moe-moe element was incorporated, acknowledging its potential for pandering. The Dance of Kagura scenes were inspired by a German production. Character art introductions for Lobelia and Hanabi revealed their key roles. Lobelia, a new and somewhat solitary character, faces a painful scenario, exploring the confrontation between justice and darkness. Hanabi develops into a character who expresses her own mind. Akahori encourages fans to deeply engage with Sakura Wars 3, seeking its hidden elements and expressing hope for the continuation of the series. He also wants fans to enjoy both the Imperial and Paris combat reviews. This page is all about Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning? Merchandise. Various prize goods are being rolled out in arcades, including plush dolls and keychain figures. There's also a Sakura Wars 3 t-shirt, mousepads, and mugs featuring the Paris Assault Force. The Taisho Roman store is highlighted with new goods like stamps, pencil sharpeners, and tote bags. They are also running a Sakura Festival event with discounts and special lucky bags. Finally, there's an advert for Sakura Wars, 3 trading cards, and maxi singles and vocal albums from the game. This page is the Imperial Capital Journal, a fan art corner for Sakura Wars. It's themed around birthday wishes for Gracine Bloomer from Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning? There are numerous fan drawings of Gracine Bloomer in various styles. Fans from different prefectures like Osaka, Fukui, Kanagawa, Wakayama, Tokyo, Nagano, Kyoto, Ibaraki, Shiga, Hyogo, Aichi, Shizuoka, Hiroshima, Tokyo, Niigata, and Tokushima have submitted their artwork and greetings. Comments praise Gracine's cuteness, her poses, and the artistic skill shown in the drawings, with some mentioning her as a Glycine-sama or Glycine-sama. Many drawings have titles like Glycine Bloomer or Blue Eye, likely referring to her eye color. The overall tone is celebratory and affectionate towards the character and the Sakura Wars series. This page presents the Amazing Zutz Flower Division Assault Ranking 21 Special, which is a fan art ranking section for Sakura Wars, heavily influenced by Sakura Wars 3,
Is Paris Burning? It highlights unpublished illustrations, either of single characters or pairs with Okangami. The top 3 rankings are: first place Erica with 64 submissions, second place Glycine, and third place Maria, both with 58 submissions each. Following these top positions, the rankings continue with characters like Reini, Susumair, Kana, Iris, Sakura, Kohaku, Roberia, Kuran, Wugami, and Subaru, each with their respective ranking positions and number of submissions. There's a section focusing on Ugami and Subaru, asking, "And these two people?" seemingly highlighting them in the rankings too. Finally, the page provides submission details for fan contributions, including illustrations, text, and photos for the Imperial Capital Journal Revised section, indicating where fans can send their artwork and messages. This page showcases the Kubu F, which is Glycine Bloomer's personal machine. Described as a marvel of technology from the Steam Factory, it is said to inherit the power and speed of a shark, the king of the sea, making it an Azure Sea combat machine. Glycine Bloomer, who is ranked highly in the previous fan art section, is specified as the pilot. The specifications detail it as being 2,592 millimeters tall, weighing 722 kilograms dry, armed with a tomahawk, and powered by a quantum power engine Orange F11, 650 horsepower. The page credits Mika Akitaka for the mechanical drawings, and Doitsu Suzuki as chief writer, with support from Red Entertainment, Sega Overworks, and Dreamcast Magazine. The next page delves into the details of the Kubu F Glycine Bloomer machine, a custom unit fine-tuned for close-quarters combat. The focus is on engine power, with a 50 horsepower boost from its turbocharged engine, pushing it beyond the standard 600 horsepower. The machine's frame has been reinforced, increasing its rigidity by 50%, though this has pushed the weight over 900 kilograms, despite the official dry weight of 722 kilograms. The key feature for Glycine's machine is the glide wheel, a standard feature across all Kubu models, and essential for its roller dash technique, using the tomahawk as a striking weapon. The tomahawk, described as 1.5 to 2 meters long, is designed for both cutting and smashing, with a blade edge crafted to hook and slice enemies. The glide wheels are explained as originally intended for Paris's urban environment, where paved roads make wheel-based movement more efficient than bipedal locomotion, especially outside of combat, to conserve the unit's leg joints. The glide wheels, powered by electric motors, enable speeds up to 80 kilometers per hour. The rear of the Kubu F is detailed, highlighting the direction indicator lights, warning lights, maintenance hatch, and spare armor latch. Notably, it has option hatches for expansion, allowing for diverse equipment attachments, emphasizing the Kubu F's customizability. The tomahawk is attached with large bolts and can be detached. The page credits Mika Akitaka for mechanical drawings and Doitsu Suzuki as writer, with support from Red Entertainment, Sega Overworks, and Dreamcast Magazine. The next page is a contents overview for the magazine. It highlights 2 main sections. The first is pre-release Dreamcast new title information, which features upcoming games Heavy Metal Geomatrix, Bounty Hunter, Sarah, Emperor of Holy Mountain, and Exodus Guilty Neos. The second section is Dorimaga Thorough Strategy Guide, listing strategy guides for games including Close to Prayers Hill, Happy Lesson, Konohana, True Report, Illbleed, Angel Present, and Wave Runner, Blue Storm. An illustration of an anime girl reading a magazine is also shown. Heavy Metal Geomatrix is a 3D action game for the Dreamcast, with a unique visual style. Players navigate diverse scenarios, utilizing a control scheme including movement, attack, jump, shooting, and special attacks. Actions like dashing and cooperative revival are also available. The game offers various attacks and movements. Pressing the A button initiates close-range attacks, while the X button triggers weapon attacks. Special attacks are performed with the R trigger or A plus X when a weapon is equipped. Dashing is achieved with the L trigger or by double-tapping direction buttons. Mid-air dashing is also possible. Players can revive fallen teammates by approaching them and pressing A. Developed by Capcom, the game is 70% complete and slated for a July 12th release, priced at 5,800 yen. It supports local multiplayer for 12 players and network play for 14. The game emphasizes unique character designs and a hard-boiled image, with artwork involvement from Simon Bisley. This page highlights 818 Stompers, a title where the tagline is, "Warriors Assemble, Get Weapons." It introduces various characters, like Hound, Slash,
and the large figure Zeus. Page details weapon pickups in the game, categorized as GUN, SW ORD, TRAP, and other, explaining their basic functions. It also mentions special attacks unique to each character and weapon type. Finally, it briefly introduces 911 Elite, described as a special task force unit protecting cyberspace. Characters Sarge, Cassie, and Stab are featured under the 911 Elite section. This page showcases 707 Metalheads, also known as Heavy Metal Geomatrix, a game that pits 12 characters, split into 4 groups, against each other in battle. A major feature is the heavy metal soundtrack, with music from artists like Megadeth and Halford. Character portraits are displayed, featuring Duke, Lance, and D.I., along with Phantom, Mayfly, Talbot, and 323 agents. In-game screenshots are presented with titles like Moto Psycho, Cyberworld, Gettin' It On, and Submission, alongside Phantom, Mayfly, TALBOT, and 323 agents, which might be character or stage names within 707 Metalheads. Page describes the character selection process and team formations available in the game. This page is dedicated to Bourbon Street Rhapsody, an adventure title set in Neo-Tokyo in 2060. You play as Sarah, a bounty hunter in a city where danger lurks. The page highlights the game's detective mode, which emphasizes reasoning and deduction. It mentions that the game allows you to choose from 3 different text fonts, a feature important to the visual novel-style gameplay. Screenshots show in-game text boxes and scenes illustrating the detective aspects. The game is categorized as an action novel and was set for release in Japan on May 24th, priced at 5,800 yen. The tagline is, Neo-Tokyo Hunt Down the Evil Criminals. Case 1. Ondu's Request, in Bounty Hunter Sarah. Holy Mountain no Teiyu, Japan exclusive, sees bounty hunter Sarah tasked by Police Chief Ando to capture dangerous criminal Leonard Garcia, despite her reservations. The mission unfolds at a cabaret, where Sarah plans to use a derringer, but is disrupted by another bounty hunter. The case continues from Bourbon Street Rhapsody, Kill. Key characters include Sarah, a skilled bounty hunter reliant on information from the computer-savvy Coco. Ando, the police chief, is in need of Sarah's services, even though he usually opposes bounty hunters. Other characters include previously captured criminal Lawrence Boyd and the target, Leonard Garcia. The page also details a promotional event at Velfar in Tokyo, where the game was showcased alongside other titles, featuring presentations and playable demos, hyping the PS2 release. The next page focuses on the Dreamcast RPG adventure game, Exodus Guilty Neos. It earned a high 90% rating. The article previews the game's world and systems, emphasizing geographical aspects. It highlights that the story unfolds across 3 worlds, with the focus being on the Neos world this time. The game is set in both the past and present timelines. The past era is described as an ancient world before 1200 BC, where people live in small villages, and gods hold significant power with 4 shrines dedicated to sand, water, fire, and wind deities. The present era is set in modern-day southern Europe, where locations from the past have become archaeological sites. The page showcases maps and screenshots, comparing locations in the past and present, such as Seark, which was a seaside village in the past and has become a small airport in the present. It explains that while 3,000 years have passed, the geography hasn't changed drastically, making it easy to see the transformations between the eras. For example, the sand shrine of the past becomes ruins in the present. The game was scheduled for release on May 31st by Arbel, priced at 6,800 yen. Exodus Guilty Neos features a time travel mechanic called the EG system, allowing players to switch between 3 eras: past, BC 1200, present, AD 2000, and future, AD 13,800. Players choose their protagonist and era: Ailes, Kasumi, or Sui. The game's core is switching between these interconnected storylines through a menu. Gameplay involves directional movement with an on-screen map, and the display of up to 4 companions. The future era is a wasteland devastated by a past catastrophe, featuring fortress-like human settlements. Notable locations include the Radiant King City and the City Guild. In the present, a discovery site and excavation team's residents are featured. A small map is always visible, with a full map accessible via the X button.
This page is dedicated to providing gameplay advice for the Dreamcast visual novel adventure game, Close to Prayer Hill. It details the room part, RP system, explaining different types of RP like normal type, event type, and in absent type, which seem to be variations in how time progresses and events are triggered within the game's room-based gameplay. The page then focuses on tips for the character Momoe Okayama, titled For the Future with Yaso Kashiwagi, giving step-by-step instructions to trigger specific events in her storyline. These steps, marked as Check 1 to Check 4, involve actions at specific times and dates in the game, such as noticing the calendar on April 10th, inviting a white cat on April 11th or 12th, reading the diary on April 13th, and checking J-Move mail on April 14th. These are presented as key actions needed to progress Momo's route. Finally, the page highlights Topic CD release information for Close to Prayer Hill, announcing a Girls Collection soundtrack CD and a drama series, Drama CD, both scheduled for release in April and June respectively. The soundtrack CD is described as featuring full chorus versions of songs, including the opening theme, Close to. The drama CD is mentioned as being related to a TBS radio program. This guide details how to unlock the heart of Kazuno Yagisawa in Close to Prayer Hill, focusing on achieving her unique ending, Ending B. To succeed, focus on Kazuno's route early. On April 11th at 10:35 a.m., visit her in the high school gymnasium during PE. On April 12th, find her collapsed at the high school. Meeting these two checkpoints is essential. Further, the guide outlines 3 crucial checks for Ending B. Check the calendar on April 10th. Invite a white cat from the window between April 11th, -15 th, and read diary entries from April 8th-10th, between April 11th-17th. Failing these leads to Ending A. Note that if you don't meet conditions for other characters, like Yumi, you may still progress to Kazuno's route. Player choices from April 16th are branching conditions, leading to 2 possible endings on April 19th. This page is a strategy guide for Happy Lesson. It details specific in-game events occurring between June 24th and June 29th. On June 24th, there's a bath appointment event, where, upon returning from school and taking a bath, Satsukima washes the protagonist's back, and then Yayoi Mama is encountered in the changing room. June 26th features Mama's Thick Nursing event, triggered by the protagonist catching a cold. This is an automatic event where you choose which mama will nurse you, and this choice influences subsequent events. For June 27th, the event is Punish the Criminal Who Poured Bath Powder. In the school infirmary, bath powder has been added to the bath. The player needs to find the culprit, making Yayoi-sensei happy. Finally, on June 29th, Mutuki-sensei's career counseling crisis unfolds. Resue. During class, Mutuki-sensei is emotionally moved by a Miyazawa Kenji story and exclaims, "Mama, live." Later, the player meets her at a tea shop and must resolve a dangerous situation to bring her back to reality. On June 28th in Happy Lesson, several events unfold. At school, Yayoi-sensei and the 12 Zodiac Boys' secret talk involves eavesdropping on Yayoi and a rival student, with potential interference. Mutuki-sensei's present from begins at the library, leading to a park visit for a gift, possibly disrupted by a rival girl. 12 Zodiac Boys' dangerous real-face scene in the music room offers another eavesdropping opportunity, with risk of detection. At home, Uzuki Mama play or not play hinges on a game invitation after dinner, affecting the next day. Finally, Satsuki Mama's gorgeous fish dish involves a seaside encounter leading to a seafood meal prepared at home, with an uncertain fish-catching origin. A schedule details Mama character appearances across various locations throughout the week. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game, Konohana, True Report, focusing on how to complete the True Report scenario. It starts by advising players to gather information from Miyako before jumping into the investigation, suggesting that reviewing past conversations and getting her opinions is key. The guide then warns about messing up the investigation process, hinting that wrong steps or actions in specific locations can lead to bad endings. It emphasizes thorough investigation and careful decision-making, even warning against getting too close to the teacher Kusaiki. For lighter moments, it points out a special scene with Miyako in a bikini at the pool, encouraging players to collect this CG image. Finally, the guide touches upon the criminal's motive,
linking it to a curse placed on the victim at the pool, and suggesting the culprit is connected to the water polo club and aware of the curse, with the number 3 appearing as a significant clue. Throughout the page, there are shortest step strategy guide boxes, offering dialogue choices that seem to guide players towards the best outcomes. This guide details strategies for Day 3 and 4 of the Konohana True Report investigation. On Day 3, you interrogate 4 characters, with the guide offering dialogue options and hints about their responses. Day 4 focuses on the water polo club, emphasizing the importance of the questioning order. 2 recommended routes are provided, a best route for a quick resolution and a possible route, while a bad end certainty route is established, specifically linked to repeatedly questioning Nagayama Jingzi. Choices during Day 3 affect love value. The guide also introduces bad end outcomes, which don't resolve the incident, and includes examples like the police lecture end, perverted teacher end, and criminal enslavement end. It warns that repeatedly questioning Jingzi Nagayama about the water polo club guarantees a bad end. This page is a strategy guide for Stage 4 of the Dreamcast horror game Illbleed, titled Killer Department Store. It gives players tips for navigating this stage, focusing on key areas like the deputy store manager's office, the confectionery sales area, and a light meal corner. The guide advises acquiring items to help clear the stage, and provides hints for a puzzle involving the hell cake. Specifically, in the deputy store manager's office, it mentions a horror monitor and warns players about a dead body that should be avoided until the monitor is obtained. The confectionery sales area is described as visually confusing and dangerous, recommending the use of adrenaline. The guide details how to complete the hell cake puzzle using a calculator item, which is located in the performance corner, requiring players to select 1 out of 3 ingredients to create the hell cake and obtain a health recovery item as a reward if successful. Screenshots from the game are featured throughout the page to visually aid the guide. This section of the Illbleed strategy guide covers Stage 4, Killer Department Store. It begins in the fresh meat market, where you can obtain health-restoring meat to distract cockroaches. Beware, as refusing to feed them leads to attacks, and meat cannot be taken out of the market. The green fruit market offers adrenaline recovery and introduces baby worm enemies. Avoid combat if possible. Next, the first gold vault presents a challenging encounter with baby worms before revealing valuable items like a machine gun, crucial for later fights. Locate the password clues on red, blue, and white memos and use a calculator. Finally, the toy market requires stealth and a $200,000 entry fee. Use warning grenades strategically, as they become less effective later in the stage. Stage 4 of Illbleed's walkthrough focuses on the Killer Department Store. Section 6 covers the Special Venue Maze, a stamina-draining tag game with Mary, where 4 cards must be found. Battles with Mary, who uses a knife and moves erratically, are inevitable. The machine gun is recommended. Section 7, the Exhibition Hall, requires finding a hidden Mary within toys, though the 4 sense sensors are useless. Trial and error are needed, with the Amazon item a potential aid. Section 8 features the park, where you must jump rope 10 times without error. Stage 4 prioritizes puzzle solving over combat, but ghost encounters pose a challenge. Michelle is a good character choice, and healing items and upgrades are crucial for success. This page continues the Illbleed walkthrough, focusing on the Killer Department Store stage. Section 9, the second gold vault, requires a password hinted at by Mary's wish, and reveals a hidden path when viewing the map. An item can be found in the center of the room with a small spider. Section 10 covers the manager's room, the location of the final showdown with the boss, Cashman. Players take the second elevator to reach the manager's room, and a calculator is present to input a password, similar to the first gold vault. The page details the boss fight against Cashman, describing him as a giant spider-like creature who spews countless small spiders and attacks with poisonous liquid. The text also highlights a section about the 5th companion named Jorg=Baker, who is described as an older figure, like a department store manager, who becomes an ally. Jorg=Baker's initial stats are shown: HP 300, Adrenaline 720, and Strength 80. He is positioned as a strong character, rivaling Eriko in strength. Another section discusses the game's attractions, stating that even after surviving all 6, escape from Illbleed theme park is not guaranteed. It mentions Michael Reynolds, the owner of Illbleed,
and materials related to him being available in the museum, suggesting further mysteries to uncover. Finally, it announces the continuation of the strategy guide's coverage into stages 5 and 6, with the release of the Ill Bleed Despair Bible Manual Guidebook, which promises to provide information to increase survival rates in the game. Angel Present features mini-events crucial to story progression and picture book creation. 5 key events are detailed. Irina's morning greeting, August 12th, morning Nikoyan, leads to a pajama scene. Making a sea bath objeto, August 12th, after 9 a.m., Kishida cycle, involves creating an object, meeting Yu's parents, and related visuals. Irina's swimsuit surprise, August 13th, daytime coastline, showcases Irina in a swimsuit. Yayoi brings out Yu's picture, August 14th, night, near a stationery store, involves student pictures and conversation. The library's picture is gone, August 15th, noon, library, is a mystery involving a missing picture and Yu. These events, triggered through interacting with characters, enrich the game's narrative. This strategy guide for Angel Present details interactions with 2 characters, Miyazaki Sayaka and Takamine Shoko. To befriend Sayaka, visit her at Azami Junior High and Ryokan Iwaya Inn. The guide provides specific dates and locations for events, including model posing opportunities. To progress with Shoko, focus on learning about her matchmaking discussions, found around town. She can be found in the piano classroom, The guide also lists event dates and locations for her, with crucial dates for both characters in the middle of August. The guide includes battle strategies, layer world. Ship battles, instructs players on defeating Ikaku by battling water spirits and using items. The Great King Squid battle emphasizes evading ink attacks and utilizing throwing blocks and piccolo attacks. Finally, the Iron Soldier battle advises using piccolo attacks in Layer World 1. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Power Jet Racing 2001, focusing on the North Pole stage. It provides tips for mastering the course, which is described as set in an extremely cold sea, with floating icebergs, and overlooked by a luxury liner. The guide is broken down into 6 numbered sections, each detailing a specific part of the course and offering gameplay advice. Tip 1 is about getting a good start by veering left immediately after the start. Tip 2 explains the slalom section, advising players to handle the narrow, walled section by cutting the steering. Tip 3 describes a jump ramp in a cave for a short-range shortcut, recommending a diagonal jump. Tip 4 deals with rapids before the oil rig, suggesting players lift the nose of the jet ski and use the analog stick to navigate through. Tip 5 covers another jump ramp for a shortcut after the second checkpoint, advising players to reduce speed and make a wide turn before the jump. Finally, Tip 6 discusses a tunnel section where a quick left turn and a gate jump are necessary after taking a shortcut. The guide emphasizes careful control and knowing when to use shortcuts to master the North Pole stage. This Power Jet Racing 2001 strategy guide focuses on the Phantom Ship course and hidden game elements. To unlock the hidden character DUCK, win the championship final. A championship with all DUCK rivals is unlocked by clearing Technical Challenge mode. Playing as DUCK and pressing L plus R plus Y displays DUCK with children. Mirror courses are unlocked in Time Attack by clearing Balloon Race mode. The Phantom Ship course involves 6 sections. Navigating a slippery lookout platform, crossing a bridge, a series of jump stands and curves, an S-curve around a buoy, avoiding waterspouts, and finally, a difficult ascent through a giant dragon's mouth. The guide provides tips on maneuvering each section, emphasizing center lines to avoid spins and time loss. This page features reader-submitted tips and tricks for Dreamcast games. For NBA 2K1, cheat codes entered via keyboard unlock features like playable Sega teams, altered player appearances, and even bizarre commentary. A pop-fin bounce trick, Jump Dash Bob, involves using sound effects and a specific key combination to make the character jump continuously. Finally, a guide reveals how to get a male character into an all-girls school in Passionate Youth Diary through a character creation exploit. The page encourages readers to submit their own tips via postcard for a chance to win prizes, ranging from Dreamcast software to merchandise. This page is dedicated to Fire Pro Wrestling on Dreamcast, titled Fighting Network Dreamcast Pro Wrestling GPW. It reports on 2 online tournaments, noting they were intensely competitive. As expected for Fire Pro, using the strongest data concept. A first-generation SWA championship tournament is highlighted, emphasizing a specific sequence of devastating wrestling moves. The top 3 winners are listed as Doraemon, Master Alpha 2, and Warabihara Daiichi, Shore Killmask. There's a section showcasing iconic moments from Fire Pro matches, and another segment focuses on a wrestler named Rei Kai and Victory Musashi, possibly related to a storyline or match outcome, mentioning Kaiser Sword and expressing disbelief with, "No! Kahita! No!" The page then discusses the Kaiser Sword concept, questioning its direction. Finally, it announces weekly updates for downloadable wrestling techniques, mentioning user surveys are shaping these additions. 4 techniques previously available are being revived, named Unknown Fire, Shining Wizard, Worm, Condyle Front Neck Lock, Buffalo Sleeper, and Last Ride. Current survey categories include Air Skill, Ami Pro, and Fighting Skill. Another tournament's top 4 rankers are listed as Doraemon, Niniku Rano, Floating Nakagawa, and Dome Pan. This page is the final special edition of the Danger Zone Corner for Dead or Alive 2 on Dreamcast, expressing deep gratitude to fans for their immense support. The page showcases fan-submitted illustrations and praises the high quality of the artwork received. Fan comments and artwork are featured with themes like unique artistic styles and appreciation for characters, especially highlighting Kasumi's cuteness. The page mentions the upcoming DOA 3 and acknowledges that the DOA 2 corner is concluding. The tone is celebratory, thanking the fan community for their contributions and long-term support. This page is the final Ida's Diary for Dead or Alive 2, expressing immense gratitude to everyone who sent in artwork and messages. It highlights that all submissions were reviewed, emphasizing the joy of receiving so many wonderful pieces and witnessing the improvement in fan art over time. The editor, Ban-san, mentions that he originally intended to compile these contributions into a book. He expresses happiness and thanks everyone for their support, stating that the Danger Zone Corner is not ending for good, and hopes for future collaborations with Dreamcast Magazine. The page features numerous fan artworks and comments, praising character designs and the game itself. One section features photos of cosplayers and asks for feedback on their costumes. Fan comments include appreciation for Kasumi's cuteness, Tina's appeal, and excitement for future installments, with one fan mentioning anticipation for Dead or Alive 3. The overall tone is celebratory and thankful, marking the end of this particular fan section while hinting at future possibilities. This article focuses on the Dreamcast game Sega, celebrating its general release and strategy elements. The goal in the 7th episode, titled, Let's Go! Industry Domination, is to achieve 100% market share. Players, as protagonist Setagaya Taro, must overcome challenges to boost development speed. The article previews 2 Dogma 3 Assassins scenarios. The second assassin, Artificial Life E, challenges players to sell 300,000 copies within 3 months to avoid a deficit, with a development cost of approximately $170 million. The third assassin, Dr. Dogma, is encountered after surpassing 70% market share and demands sales of 800,000 units with a budget over $220 million. Successful completion of this stage brings the 100% share goal closer. Sega, a management simulation for one player, went on sale March 29th for 5,800 yen, 300 points. General sales are scheduled for May 17th. This Sega strategy guide focuses on achieving 100% market share. Key strategies include strategic release timing, peak months like August and December, and understanding advertising costs and effectiveness, from message boards to TV commercials. The guide also covers creator stamina recovery, early specification adjustments, and creator reuse after project completion. It further details countermeasures for industry poaching by managing employee morale, showcasing the importance of a happy and motivated team. The Momo command is presented as a tool for boosting morale. The overall message emphasizes careful planning, resource management, and team motivation to succeed in the game development market. This page is a strategy guide page focusing on the Dogma headquarters battle in Sega, tasking the player to persuade the Dogma executives after achieving 100% market share. The guide details boss encounters like Crazy Kaolin, Artificial Lifeform E, Dogma Doctor, and Dogma President, offering hints for defeating each. It features maps of Dogma Corp and Comic Market, providing a walkthrough with notes on switches, elevators, and doors within Dogma Corp. The page also introduces the Comic Market event,
held in-game during summer, August 13-15, and winter, December 28-30, showcasing recruitable characters such as Minden Nao, Root, Midori Kumo, Devil Gold, Sugud Pink, and Hakurin Artist, explaining where to find and recruit them. This page is an interview with voice actors Junko Noda and Aya Hisakawa about their roles in Sega. Junko Noda voices Sagata Taro, and Aya Hisakawa voices Haneda Yayoi and Mogatan. The interview covers their impressions of the game, the recording process, and their thoughts on their characters. They mention that the recording took place around July of last year and was completed in a single day. Noda initially thought Sega Gaga was a powerful title. Hisakawa mentions that she saw the animation parts during the recording, but hadn't seen the game itself. They discuss the unique script with colorful highlighting for each cast member's lines, and the challenges of recording lines with technical terms and Sega-specific jargon. The actors share humorous anecdotes about struggling with the unusual lines, and the director Zuru Girushi's unique approach, including the use of full-color scripts. Hisakawa found the character Mogatan and the sister character very memorable. The page includes screenshots of Sega and pictures of the voice actors holding Dreamcast-related magazines, along with a present offer for signed cards from the two voice actors to readers. Zuru Girushi's message emphasizes the rich script and praises the voice actors' performances, particularly highlighting how they brought out the kindness and danger in Sagata Taro and the realistic feeling in Yayoi's voice. This page is all about Super Monkey Ball for the Dreamcast. It highlights the simple but addictive gameplay, where you control a monkey and a ball using only the analog stick, aiming to reach the goal. The page explains the basic rules. Collect bananas. 100 bananas give you an extra life. Avoid falling off the course, which costs you a life, and aim to reach the goal to clear the stage. There's a bonus for clearing stages quickly. If you finish with more than half the time remaining, your time bonus is doubled. The story setup is briefly touched upon, mentioning monkeys living peacefully in the jungle. It also showcases the character select screen, where you can choose between Meri Meri, Ai, and Baby, but notes there are no performance differences between them. It's purely a matter of preference. The first stage is designed as an introductory level to get players accustomed to the controls. A development note mentions the clear time goal for the first stage is 5 minutes. This page is a guide for beginner levels in Super Monkey Ball for the Dreamcast, focusing on how to progress through the initial stages. It highlights that reaching the goal is not always straightforward, hinting at hidden or multiple goals in some levels. The guide breaks down the first 10 stages, providing tips for each. Stage 1 is about getting a feel for the controls on a simple ramp. Stage 2 introduces uneven terrain and rolling straight. Stage 3 features moving platforms for the first time, requiring speed control. Stage 4 is a bonus stage focused on collecting all the bananas. Stage 5 continues with downhill slopes, emphasizing speed and time reduction. Stage 6 introduces uphill slopes, where lever control is key for incline. Stage 7 presents separated and combined platforms that require jump skills and timing. Stage 8 features narrow paths and slopes, testing accumulated skills. Stage 9 focuses on jumping techniques over gaps, using the analog stick and brake. Finally, Stage 10 is the beginner level's final test, demanding players apply all learned skills to navigate narrow paths and curves. Each stage has a target clear time to encourage speedruns. The page concludes by suggesting players are ready to move on to the intermediate levels, and challenging them to clear all 10 stages without losing a life. This page highlights the upcoming release of Virtua Striker 3, featuring an interview with producer Satoshi Mifune. The interview delves into the concept of high-level ideal realization in the game, emphasizing the pursuit of realism. Mifune mentions that the basic motion capture data is increased tenfold compared to previous titles, aiming for more realistic player movements. A new feature, the adoption of yellow and red cards, is also discussed, adding a layer of strategy and consequence to fouls. The producer explains that while the game might not appear drastically different visually, the core gameplay mechanics have been fundamentally rebuilt to achieve a higher level of realism. The page includes gameplay screenshots and a game information box confirming it's a 12-player sports soccer game developed by Sega/Amusement Vision for the NAOMI2 arcade board. The interview aims to convey the producer's confidence in the latest installment and their focus on delivering a more realistic and refined football experience. The next page continues the interview with Virtua Striker 3 producer Satoshi Mifune, who emphasizes the significant increase in motion data for this iteration, claiming it is 10 times greater than before. He explains that while Virtua Striker 2 had motion capture, it wasn't as smoothly integrated into gameplay, leading to issues like unresponsive dribbling after certain steps. Virtua Striker 3 aims to address this by achieving a more natural and fluid feel. Mifune highlights that the enhanced processing power of the NAOMI 2 arcade board allows for these improvements. The interview touches upon the introduction of the offside rule and replay functionality. Screenshots demonstrate the visual advancements compared to Virtua Striker Ver. 2000. Emphasizing improved polygon counts and graphical fidelity. Mifune concludes by expressing gratitude to players for their patience and assuring them that Virtua Striker 3 represents a significant step forward in realism and gameplay. This page is focused on providing gameplay tips and strategies for the Dreamcast game Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon. It highlights different mobile suits and their combat styles. The page emphasizes mid-range combat and introduces the Zoc and gun cannon as examples of units suitable for this style, alongside the Goof for close-quarters fighting. The article details the fighting style for the Zoc, suggesting players utilize its mega-particle cannon from a distance, as its movement speed is slow. For the Goof, it recommends close-range combat, using the 5-barreled machine gun and heat rod. The gun cannon strategy focuses on long-range combat using its cannon, but acknowledges its limited ammo capacity. The page also lists key details of the game, including its developer and publisher as Banpresto and Capcom, mentions it's a team battle action game supporting 14 players, and runs on the NAOMI board. A Dreamcast version is also announced as being published by Bandai. This guide analyzes weapon effects in Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Carence. Zeon, focusing on strategic combat. Beam rifles stun but lack invincibility, prompting side attacks. Bazookas cause flinching, ideal for close combat. Machine guns and gun-tank pop missiles also induce flinching. The guide warns against attacking downed enemies, as the yellow lock-on cursor signals ineffective attacks. The guide explores the gun tank, noting its lack of knockdowns and emphasizing maintaining distance, teamwork, and communication. CPU battles feature dynamic enemy unit changes, and unusual units may appear in versus mode. The Goof is detailed, tracing its development from the Zaku, highlighting Rambaral's pilot role. The guide includes a mobile suit spec box, listing its stats and armaments, including the heat rod's paralyzing effect. This page introduces Zero Gunner 2, a 3D scrolling shooting game for the Dreamcast, developed by Psychio. It highlights the game's story where pilots abandon their physical bodies to control combat helicopters and fight against rogue weather-controlling weapons called ONI. Zero Gunner 2 is presented as a sequel to the original Zero Gunner, built using the Naomi arcade board, allowing for 1 to 2 players. The game boasts 3 types of playable helicopters based on real-world military models. The Comanche is described as a versatile helicopter specializing in speed, the Apache as a powerful attack helicopter, and the Hokum, a Russian helicopter focusing on a wide attack range. A key gameplay mechanic is the shot power system, which has 2 levels. Level 1 is shown with a focused shot, while Level 2 unleashes a more powerful, widespread attack. This system encourages strategic play, emphasizing efficient and tactical combat. Zero Gunner 2 was scheduled for a May release, emphasizing its unique approach to 3D shooting and offering a different strategic depth compared to traditional shooters of the time. This page focuses on Zero Gunner 2, a 360-degree shooting game. It highlights that the game has 7 stages in 2 parts. The first 4 stages are random, offering a different stage order each playthrough. The stage structure section details the names of the stages. Stage 1 is Water Metropolis, Stage 2 is Offshore Base, Stage 3 is Mountain Train, and Stage 4 is Sea of Clouds. These are the random stages. The after stage section lists the fixed stages. Stage 5 is Asian Slum, Stage 6 is Orbital Elevator, and Stage 7 is marked with question marks. The page describes the turn marker system, explaining it allows the player to fix the direction of their helicopter momentarily to attack enemies in any direction by pressing a button. There's also an explanation of Option Attack, which is a special attack activated by pressing the shot and turn marker buttons together, consuming a gauge and unleashing a powerful bomb attack, with up to 6 levels of power. Screenshots on the page show gameplay from various stages, including the Water Metropolis, Offshore Base, Mountain Train, Sea of Clouds, Asian Slum, and Orbital Elevator, demonstrating the different environments and enemy types in the game. This page is Dorimaga Ghidorah-chan's Game Review, Episode 11 by Tatsuneko,
focusing on the game Comic Party. Dora-chan introduces the segment as featuring advanced information, quite rare, and a bit of a flying start. The section aims to help readers become kings of the doujinshi world through Comic Party, or Komipa for short. The page briefly explains what doujinshi are: self-published books sold by both professional and amateur creators. It mentions that even a cosplayer character, seemingly Dora-chan, is unfamiliar with doujinshi. The page encourages readers to play the game Comic Party to understand doujinshi culture better, assuring them that the main character is also a beginner. It also humorously notes that similar real-life events to those depicted in the game do exist and can be a nuisance. The page concludes by asking if playing Comic Party will make the reader a doujinshi expert. This page continues Dorimaga Jidora-chan's game review, focusing on Comic Party. It's announcing that Nakao Murata, joining other famous artists, Misato Mitsumi and Etsuro Tennoji, will be a character designer for the Dreamcast version of Comic Party. They are teasing new events and enhanced graphics in this version, encouraging readers to look forward to it. The release date for Comic Party on Dreamcast is confirmed as June 28, published by Aqua Plus, with a strong recommendation to buy it, especially highlighting the limited edition for collectors. In a bonus section, it is announced that the magazine title itself will be changing from the May 11th issue. Finally, the Dorimaga no Dora-chan section features a brief dialogue about changing the logo of Dorimaga's Dora-chan. Character descriptions are provided, introducing Dora-chan as an enthusiastic cosplaying game girl who is the personality of this corner, and Megadora as Dora-chan's experienced senior, a knowledgeable game fan. This page is Sachiko Kamimura's DC game Tiger's Den, a review section, and this time it is focusing on The House of the Dead 2. It is described as a gun-shooting game, where you shoot zombies and rescue civilians. The review highlights that even though it's a gun-shooting game, it's not too difficult and enjoyable for anyone. The page shows the difficulty settings, which range from very easy to very hard, and options for life, and continues. It mentions that playing with friends makes it feel like an arcade experience, and it's popular among high school girls in game centers. It is also noted as a good game to invite friends to play together. The reviewers are Sachiko Kamimura, who is an animator and gamer, and a cat character named Cameron Sorimachi, a game maniac cat, who is described as knowledgeable about games and even plays Phantasy Star Online. This final Mail Chum magazine edition within Dreamcast Magazine announces a hiatus and May renewal. It features staff comments and the results of an illustration contest for Red Chan's birthday. Readers, using nicknames, praised Red Chan's illustrations and the magazine. Contest winners were announced. H.N. Morazan, Red Prize, for a stylish woman in a suit. H.N. Saresu, Jet Prize, for a cute Red Chan in a kimono. And H.N. Rainy Rinrin, Dorimaga Prize, for a sexy office lady Red Chan. The Raspberry 4's consultation room answered reader questions about time management, with advice from Raspberry 4 members. Topics included effective time use and calendar management, offering tips to make unenjoyable time pass faster. The manager thanked readers for their support and announced a significant Mail Chum renewal in May, with details on mailchum.co.jp. This page is showcasing prize items available in claw crane machines, called UFO catchers in Japan. It's presented as a prize get lecture for beginners, hosted by Take-chan. The page offers advice on how to win prizes, emphasizing the importance of understanding an item's weight and how to pinch it effectively with the claw. It highlights different pinching techniques like vertical and horizontal grips. The bottom section previews new faces before break time, listing prize items for April and May. April's prizes include Katochin Super Jumbo Cushions, Sanrio character hand towels and buckets, Sugi Sarashi Polystone photo stands, various horse plush toys, Sesame Street Elmo 20th Anniversary plush toys, Sesame Street Baby Super Jumbo Pajamas mascots, Tama and Friends shop bus trunks, Doraemon door frame paper holders, and Looney Tunes Picolico plush toys. May's prize lineup features Katochin Super Jumbo plush toy Verpoint 2, Koku, Ku, mini tables, Love Hina portable straps, Tsuchinoko Exploration Team plush toys, Sanrio character Weather Fortune mascots, Anpan-Man flower plush toys, New Century Evangelion plush toy Asuka Langley specials, and Kobato Collection Strawberry Milk keychain figures. This page highlights Sega prizes, showcasing various UFO catcher machine items. Featured are World Idol Sesame Street Baby plush toys, National Idol
Doraemon face trunk cases, and Super Horse plush toys. Also presented are Sugisarashi flower viewing lunchboxes, Sanrio character TV cushions, season-feeling items like Winnie the Pooh bags, and Mickey and Minnie Mouse plush. Finally, 101 Dalmatians plush toys are shown. A Disney prize list for April and May includes a range of Disney-themed prizes. Additionally, a Big Belly Present giveaway is announced, offering 10 items marked Present to 30 winners. Instructions for entering the prize draw are provided. This page features a profile of Risa Goto, who is described as bright and cheerful and enjoys skateboarding. She started skateboarding a month ago and can now do ollies. She is also a big fan of video games and enjoys playing them at home. The profile includes her birthday, June 18, 1983, making her 17 years old. She is from Fukuoka Prefecture, with blood type O. Her measurements are also listed. Her hobbies are skateboarding and guitar. Her media work includes appearances on the TV show Munasawagi no Doyubi, the movie Shibito no Koiwazurai, and commercials for Citrus Diet and Ban. She also has video releases, trading cards, and photo albums. Details are provided for her fan club and an event at Ishimaru Denki Software in Akihabara, Tokyo on May 5th for a video release commemoration event. The page also lists staff credits for photography and styling. This page continues with Risa Goto, who mentions that despite enjoying video games, she doesn't keep any at home as she would play them late into the night and not get enough sleep. This page continues with an interview section called Dream a Girl, featuring Risa Goto, where she describes her ideal type of person, noting she likes someone gentle and kind, who she can relax with, and that personality is important to her. She also mentions she likes unknown people, and finds that seeing someone's unknown side is appealing. However, someone who is too cool is a bit difficult. She describes her preferred face type as ordinary to the degree that you can find anywhere, stating that she likes faces that are common, and ultimately, personality is the most important thing. There is also a section titled Risa's Southern Country Memories, where she recounts a photo shoot in Penang Island, Malaysia. She describes it as very hot and sunny. She participated in various activities, such as skateboarding, archery, though she only hit the target once, parasailing as an air swing, and finally jet skiing. She found jet skiing exhilarating and really enjoyed the feeling of the wind. While she wants to do jet skiing again, she found the parasailing a bit scary as it was about 10 meters high. She mentions the video content is story-like and gives the viewer a feeling of going on a date with her, encouraging viewers to watch it. There is a smaller section on the right side of the page showing Risa with a skateboard, mentioning that skateboarding is her forte, and she tried various sports. It notes that jet skiing was particularly enjoyable for her. Actress Risa Goto discusses her desire to get a driver's license now that filming for her drama is complete. She dreams of owning a cute car, enjoying the freedom of driving, and possibly taking her boyfriend for rides. She also expresses an interest in American cars. Simultaneously, an advertisement promotes her DVD and VHS release, Memory 2 Favorite, Risa Goto, priced at 3,800 yen, featuring bonus content, and released in April 2001. Additionally, there's a contest for Dreamcast Magazine readers. Readers can win autographed CD cases from Risa Goto by submitting a postcard with their personal information and thoughts on her to the magazine's editorial department in Tokyo by May 11th. This page features character introductions and a manga strip titled Guru Guru Chahan, Episode 43, Rika Veritu's Trap by UEK USA. The character introduction section details several creations by Guru Guru. First, Guru Guru himself, a middle schooler aiming to be a scientist who enjoys creating creatures. Then there's Aoi-chan and Aoi-san, creatures where Aoi-chan aspires to be beautiful like Aoi-san, but Aoi-san disagrees with Aoi-chan's facial placement. Usagi is a rabbit-like creature with human intelligence and speech. Hiroshima-kun, whose real name is Rika-chan, is described as seemingly cute, but actually an okama with a crush and strong legs. Janpai-kun is Guru Guru's strongest creature, known for absorbing teenage fuzziness, and was involved in an incident in episode 41. Lastly, Shinpuru-kun is a simple yet powerful creature made from readily available materials, who grows to an unmanageable size in episode 43. The Guru Guru Chahan manga strip shows Rika Ver-tu wanting to become more beautiful. Guru Guru offers her what he thinks is diet medicine, but it turns out to be swelling medicine by mistake. Rika Ver-tu drinks it, and instead of becoming thin, she inflates and swells up, much to Guru's surprise and realization of his error.
The next page presents Weekly Dreamcastrology, a horoscope section. It displays 12 zodiac signs with corresponding dates, ranging from Aries, March the 21st of April 20th, to Pisces, February the 19th of March 20th. Each zodiac sign includes sections for boys and girls, accompanied by cartoon illustrations, short descriptions, lucky colors, and lucky items. The page indicates this horoscope is for the week of April 27th, Friday, to May 10th, Thursday. There's also a Lucky Person of the Week feature for those born on May 5th, and a small section titled Hakozaki Itama, discussing Golden Week plans to participate in a mystery tour with unknown destinations. This page is a reader prize and magazine content advertisement for Dreamcast Magazine. There are several prize giveaways for readers who fill out a questionnaire, including mini-cell art sets from the game Fire Holy Mother the Virgin on Megiddo, Dreamcast-compatible software, Love Hina keychain figure sets, original Dreamcast Magazine name card holders and t-shirts, and Shenmue 2 Teleca cards. The page also promotes the next issue of Dreamcast Magazine, dated May 25th, teasing upcoming articles about the magazine and Dreamcast's future, network gaming, E3, PS2, and Xbox, and a new serialization. Games highlighted for the next issue include Shenmue 2, Sonic Adventure 2, Crazy Taxi 2, Air, Fire Holy Mother the Virgin on Megiddo, Canaria, As, Black Soul, Off 2, and Eldorado Gate Episode 5. Finally, it lists the winners of previous reader prizes and announces the opening of the Dreamcast Magazine website. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Exodus Guilty NEOS, directed by Hiroyuki Kano. The game is described as an adventurous action RPG with a multi-time zapping system. The advertisement highlights that the game blends past, present, and future time periods. It also mentions the original illustrations are by Carnelian, and the planned release date is May 31, 2001, for 6,800 yen excluding tax. This page is an advertisement for the romance-adventure game Pia Iukoso 2.5 and Pia Iukoso 2.2, both for Dreamcast, and scheduled for release in June with a standard retail price of 7,200 yen. The page also promotes the fantasy adventure game Angel Present, which is already on sale for a standard price of 6,800 yen. The advert features anime-style artwork and screenshots from the Pia series.